we gotta pay Capitol Records for.
Oh.
Your Twitch stream has been shut down on copyright claims.
That's such a shit show for them. Oh my gosh.
For what?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the thing that got passed in the EU today.
No.
They passed a law saying that all user-generated content now has to pass through IP content filters for copyright holders to file strikes against them. And it's any user-generated content on any platform, and the responsibility falls on the platform for doing it. That's one of the two articles, and the second one is anybody that links to somebody's website, they now have to buy a license to be able to link to it from the right holder. So if you link to a news network and you Google something, and that Google shows up in their Google link, Google has to pay whoever owns that website.
So that means the website is going to be out of the world because they are.
Yeah. So basically, Spain tried to pass something similar like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so Google just took out all of the news sites from Spain and effectively shut down the entire news industry. Yes. And they're like, no, the way the internet works is people pay Google to be in those because it gets eyeballs on their stuff. You don't get to decide. Google has to pay you.
Yes.
And it's the same thing for like Facebook. If people post articles on Facebook, Facebook has to disallow people doing that unless Facebook itself has a license for that content.
That is cool.
It's and basically they
for the whole EU.
So this is for and that's even the worst part. This was all just voted on by the EU Parliament.
Yeah.
And but each country gets to interpret the law and enforce it however they see fit. So basically, now all these companies are going to have to figure it out.
Why did they do that?
Or get basically shafted by Google, who's like, you can interpret it how you want, we're not putting your news on our search results.
Yeah. and so basically it's turning into a huge disaster.
Oh, yeah.
And basically it's laws written by people who have no idea how the internet works.
Yeah, definitely.
Pretty much most laws are written by people that don't actually know anything about what they're writing laws about.
Yeah, it's just absolutely absurd.
Like most of laws.
So then everything is also Google, except whatever is already on Google, so you're going to find YouTube videos.
And the scarier part is basically it's forcing all user-generated content through content filters, which is a real good way to censor things that you don't want to. It's basically enforcing a system of full-scale censorship.
This one?
Yeah.
Does it roll well?
And
pretty bad.
Yeah. And basically the whole thing going around Reddit today was that Europe just killed the meme because that's all copyrighted material.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, because the fair use is...
fair use is only in the US now. Fair use doesn't exist in Europe anymore, as of today.
There's a law for that in France, so they cannot remove it, but...
Yeah, and so
it's definitely...
apparently it got voted in, and then it's going to go into council to discuss the exact language, and then there's another vote to vote on the exact language in January. So it's people are hoping there's still time to repeal
so
it.
in 6 months there's a...
But it also got sneakily passed too, because they tried to pass just these two things 3 months ago and got denied, and then they added these two articles as part of this huge overarching thing, and basically they didn't block everything else on these two things because they wanted everything else passed, so this got in. It's super shady. Yeah.
It's not the first time that something like that happened, where
welcome to the
something is hiding and
so efficient and user friendly for the people.
Yes. I think here it's a few things like that,
the US
privacy.
The US does shit like that all the damn time.
Yes.
It dries me freaking insane.
Governments in
Just say yes on the blog of fake pages and don't have time to read
pork
it.
barreling, yeah.
It's so yeah.
Also, if anybody wants vape or objects to us smoking vape, let me know.
Okay.
Because if you do it too damn bad, he's going to do it anyway.
Alright. So, we're going to have to do probably a quick recap. It's been a little bit. So, your all's party met all the way back in Red Larch. You found that some weird stuff was going on. Went to find a lost group of delegates who seemed to be carrying or transporting something of various import. They were hijacked, kind of seemingly split up from your investigations. So, you found one delegate by working with these wind people. One of the kind of people that you were interfacing with, I think his name was Silas, right? Am I thinking of that right? The really sketchy guy.
Marcus.
No, the guy who put stuff in your drinks and you freaked out.
The one that we threw off the tower and then he flew away?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know that we ever
I think he's gonna be Silas.
Sure, Silas.
So yeah, I think that's what it was, but I can't remember. It's been a while. So this guy Silas kind of was trying to like rope you all into his kind of wind cults. You weren't having it, though you did help him kill a manicore, and then after that, you all went into this wind tunnel, fought a bunch of stuff. You came away with an amulet. Some other people had some magical items coming out of this fight with this, kind of priestess of wind that was seemingly trying to summon or kind of channel something. After that, you all went back to the tower to try to find the source of the next amulet because the next delegate. Sorry, because. Gosh, it's been a little bit. Sorry, I had like a little bit of insomnia last night, so I did not sleep super well. So if my mind wanders, that's why. But yeah, so you went up to talk to this. You met this lady Alara, which was the delegate that you found. She started looking for. How many close that?
I got it.
Oh yeah. Thanks. So she said, we need to find my amulet. This thing that is something I was carrying is very, very important. Twitchly Switch found a amulet during it, but hasn't disclosed it really to anybody yet. But has been kind of funnily talking to himself for quite some time.
Is everyone over your character is the same?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're stealing things from your...
So, you guys went on the search for the other delegates, which she said it's very important to find them because she believes the Silas guy has her amulet and he took it with him. Kind of going, I think, west. Okay. So then you all arrived at this kind of stone monastery. Above ground, they were all, so after kind of traveling and having some altercations with Alana, who's like the delegate that's traveling with you all. Alara, yeah. Same thing. Same thing. Lara.
That's my ass.
Blank, Lara. So after kind of negotiating with her a little bit, you all headed off to a stone monastery, and you followed some kind of people going in and out of the woods where you think this Silas guy went. And then, let me think if I'm remembering correctly. You guys are going to get all the spoilers because I'm like fuzzy, my brain's fuzzy tonight. But then you all end up at the stone monastery where these kind of buildings were on gears and kind of operated together, and there was this kind of strange setup there. You found the strange dark guard that let you in, or that kind of like you followed in. He went through a different passageway that took him straight underground into this complex over here. So after fighting a few monsters on your way in and some guardians, you ended up befriending a gargoyle named Paddington. Which was who was a very kind soul, and he joined you guys when you were fighting someone. A stone
monk, I think.
Yeah, you were fighting a stone monk and a burrow shark.
Oh
yeah, the burrow shark and the stone melder, and you guys fought those things 2 sessions ago. And in this session, or in the last session, yeah, that's that whiskey. Yeah, that stuff's really good. And you might, because it's cask strength, you might need some ice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty strong. We gotta get some more of that.
We're gonna get some more of that stuff.
It's worth every penny.
Yeah, really though.
The next bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me 20 of those.
I was like, I might have some.
But yeah, so then you fought the burrow shark. You ended up kind of discovering that as you went deeper into the cave, into this part of the complex, kind of this this area of broken stone, like there was kind of this pulsing energy presence that was there, and kind of half submerged into stone were lots of people. So, and one of the monks trying to unearth them. Oh yes, thank you. One of the monks trying to unearth them.
Oh, there's more.
Whoa.
Yeah. Ooh.
You want a little ranch?
Oh, respect that.
Jeff's not a ranch guy.
I'm a barbecue sauce guy, but I can do straight up just fine.
He's a perfect
Pardon me, chicken nugget. But yeah, so there was this old monk who was trying to kind of take these acolytes out of the wall that seemed to work with like the monastery upstairs, and he was saying that, hey, like some sort of corruption has got into our monastery, something's changing the way the stone is working, he's trying to rescue these acolytes. In that time, this kind of darkness continued to spread, so while you all took a rest and kind of held up in this room, Paddington, your loyal gargoyle, was kind of taken over by this thing that seemed to be able to control stone. He kind of went AWOL and tried to fight. And then
AWOL went kind of AWOL.
Yeah, AWOL went AWOL. Paddington went crazy and tried to attack you all. And in your attempt to dispel whatever was taking over him, you also dispelled the thing that was keeping him animate. So then he turned into stone. From that, you all went to one of the other kind of presences that lives in stone, which was this kind of like fat, kind of corpulent stone statue that's just very happily living its life. Yeah. My beautiful artwork. And that guy's over here somewhere. Whoops. Fat stone statue guy's over here. You all went, and then so then you got a spell to be able to reanimate Paddington. And as you all were... Hypochondrius got a spell that was able to reanimate Paddington. And as you all were starting to head back into this area that's kind of been infected, so that infection started spreading, it started crumbling the walls in the little like larder you all were holding up in. And as that infection started spreading, something happened to Twitchley Switch, where suddenly he went really rigid and started walking towards, walking into this kind of space where kind of this pulsing energy is coming from. So he's sort of heading straight towards this pulsing energy. So right now,
I forgot about that.
You all are carrying Paddington's statue right beside you on, I think, kind of like a floating disc that is able to lift up the gargoyle's weight. Everyone is in this dark cave, and it almost looks much more natural than some of the structured caverns. There's no pillars. There's nothing that's like neat and clean. This is just kind of like stone that's craggy, stalactites, but like the roof seems like almost like just recently crumbled. Like it seems to just like kind of have had recent geological activity. There's people half buried in a lot of the stone, like above you. Kind of blood is dropping down from the ceilings. Paddington is right beside you. The air smells really like kind of like
time to leave.
Yeah. The air smells kind of funky. The acolytes that have been, like the monks that are trying to like get the acolytes out, they're just minding their own business and trying to like get their other friends out, kind of off to the side. And Twitchley Switch is
Are we far from
marching straight ahead, and in his head he's hearing the voice that says, "Sir, it's very, very important. My brethren are here. Just keep moving your left leg, sir. Your right leg, sir. Your left leg, sir."
Can I, do I get a chance to roll to save against his...
You can indeed.
What kind of roll is it?
It would be a...
I took them all out here.
So how far is he right now?
He's maybe about 15 feet in front of you. He just started walking.
I bet we've seen that his comportment is
Yeah,
strange.
you noticed that he suddenly went stiff and just started marching.
Okay. I'm trying to tackle him.
Okay.
Okay, it's football.
So go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Yeah.
Am I trying to dodge him?
It's up until you break your mind free. Actually, yeah, go ahead and roll an athletics dodge. That's right.
So athletic? Oh, it's fine.
Can it be acrobatics to dodge?
So I got 9.
Or would it be athletics to dodge?
It would probably be athletics.
I'm not finessing my way around it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Good. That's a -2. That's still 13 though.
So 13, what did you get?
9.
So you make a jump for him, but he is just moving so quickly that he just keeps walking towards, kind of like, and you can't really see too much. The torchlight that's streaming in from the other actually like kind of constructed chambers fades out really quickly once you get in the door. So all you kind of see is this kind of red, kind of pulsing light that's way out in the distance, and he's starting to march towards that.
I say we follow him.
Is that to us now? Is he lit?
I say we follow him and see where he's going.
Okay.
And then if for your saving throw for your mind, it would probably be a
revive Paddington.
We do. We have a spell, but
We
we have
have-
to kill somebody. We have to basically like take one life to give him back life.
Okay. That's
give me a
not very
charisma
good spell.
saving throw.
Where's Paddington?
But there's all these dead people on the
He's
wall.
we have a
He's
he
on a
has a
floating
floating
disc.
Yeah.
disc that's
Advantage on charisma saving throws against magic.
There you go.
Trolley. Like a
And I also would have advantage at
So
working
your
on
job
this
is
against
to
magic.
boost the trolley.
Yeah. Oops.
Well, that's a nat 20.
Okay.
Wow.
So then
Nice.
you're able to, you kind of feel sensation coming back to your legs, and he says, "Sir, I'm very, very terribly sorry for the inconvenience, but we must keep moving. My brother and I are very, very close by."
Well, I'm not quite sorry. Something I must not be feeling. It's rather dark in here. It's been a while since I've had a good drink as well, so something, I lost myself there for a minute. Where were we?
You're saying this to the rest
Yeah,
of
I'm
us?
saying this to everyone.
Yeah.
Didn't we also learn last time that he had the amulet?
I don't think so.
Good try.
No, we did.
No. No.
I'm pretty sure we
I would've
did.
known.
I remember precisely that.
Oh, okay.
Name
Maybe not. Maybe
name
not.
the si-
No, I
walk
don't. I
me
don't
through
remember.
the situation
I know.
where
I
it
can't
happened, or
remember,
else
but I
it
remember
didn't
being
happen.
like, "Oh, we like know now." That. I mean, I don't remember
Yeah,
exactly.
I
I'd have to
remember you
rewatch
sent
it.
it to me, and I specifically asked you, did they find out about it? And you said no.
No.
Okay.
I'm 90% sure. Because that would have been, yeah, that would have been, like, because like if you had, then Alara would have probably reacted in like a negative way.
Okay. Okay. We have that one in my head.
So because that didn't happen, I'm 90% sure that you guys don't know.
Are you all right? What's
Yeah, I'm just
what's wrong with you?
We're
just a little confused.
You smell like drinks over there or something?
Do you have too much spice?
I mean, it's very possible. I've been known to do such things.
I have some more if you like. With
Maybe it's
you.
the blood dripping from
I
the
mean,
ceiling.
I didn't take any of your stores, if that's what you're worried about. No, I just, for some reason, I had this odd compulsion to go deeper into this cavern. I mean, it seems like what could be the harm? I'm just kind of curious, maybe, but just kind of let my mind wander for a minute and started walking that direction. I assumed you guys would follow, but
It's a little strange considering
then-
we've watched people get.
then this one
Alive
just
by the
jumps
walls.
after me. I don't know. Maybe I've got things in my mind.
We have seen people get eaten by the walls in this room, so
Yeah,
it is
well,
a bit of a strange compulsion.
yeah, maybe I just wasn't paying attention. It happens. Happens to the best of us.
Mondays. You know?
Yeah.
We get it. We get
Mondays.
it.
Not the best day for adventuring for me. What can I say?
So,
It's
do you
Wednesday.
want like to kill someone really fast and leave the place and not be
That's
moved by the
what
wall?
I've been saying for the past 3 weeks.
3 sessions.
The last session.
By the
We
way,
need to kill
someone-
somebody.
Someone remind me, what happened to the big dude here floating on this disc? I mean, I don't recall this being how I
much
left
spice
him.
did you
We
have?
underestimated my power and I one-shotted him.
I
didn't know
should
my
have
own
seen
strength.
such a thing coming.
He
That makes
cast
so much
He
sense.
cast Dispel Magic.
I see. It's
Yes.
wise.
Well,
While
the
you were
magic.
dazed, we became best
I was
friends.
on a bit of a bender. What can I say?
That is also true. They did become best friends.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Paddington.
And when we get a chance
We all
and
did.
find somebody who is deserving of death,
Look at all these people in the walls.
which
Pick one.
I'm
Just
I'm on the
point.
fence
I'm
about
done.
that.
I'm done. I will take which I will do it.
So you start to hear
I'd
like
love to
this
see you
heavy.
try. Go for it.
People are getting
Perfect.
eaten
I
alive
take out my
by the
great
wall.
axe.
So you guys, everybody, give me a perception check.
I have my great axe.
So you think
out.
people are getting eaten alive
That's
by the
not good.
wall?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
walls
the
are like
stone.
swallowing people.
They're made of stone and it's like swallowing people.
Oh, that's a crit fail.
That is,
So I got a-
that is also a crit fail.
I got a 6.
Nothing seems out of the ordinary.
I got a 10.
I got a 21.
Nice,
I
thank
have a
God.
5 plus something.
Have we tried like to
Okay.
pull the people from the walls? So
Yes.
that have we
Yeah.
tried killing them?
Yes.
I don't think you've tried getting
No,
them
but
out.
there was the only way was with that thing, right? The staff that the monk has.
Yeah, well, that was how he was getting them out of the walls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I assumed that was the only way.
So yeah,
Let's
they
take like a
you
branch
think you
and-
got the staff at some point, right?
The
Yeah.
Oh, you do
stone
have the
acolyte.
staff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody is kind of just having a conversation, trying to figure things out. But you seem to notice, like, it's almost like you're off balance. And as you look down, you notice that the ground is just very slowly moving the whole party just kind of deeper towards into the cave. And you start to see these kind of like these little like kind of streams of rock start to crawl up your feet just a little bit.
Nice. Hey guys, the thing that happened to the sheep looks like it's happening to us. Something is pulling us into the earth. Remember the sheep that got pulled underground?
I'm trying to walk the other way.
Yeah.
And,
the sheep got pulled underground, really? I
on my leg and
No, we just killed them.
killed the sheep.
Yeah.
Just got
and
Our sheep
So
disappeared.
you haven't noticed this. I don't think he's told you guys yet.
oh, okay.
He's telling us.
We did. So I'm telling them right now.
Okay.
Hey, we're getting pulled
Use your stuff. Let's run.
somewhere.
And internally, my mind is like, how much spice did I have? As I watch the ground just move underneath me.
Or
I get very
maybe
frustrated
should
because
we
I'm not in the mood to be on a treadmill right now.
should we go toward where it's pulling us to?
That seems like a terrible idea. Let's do it.
I mean, the world seems to be telling us very explicitly where we should be going.
Yes.
I'm curious to see where this fellow was so passionately moving.
Was there anywhere else we didn't explore in the area outside
Just
this cavern?
I think that room was collapsed in the dining room, right?
Oh, we could have. There's the monastery.
Yeah, there was more stuff this way.
Does someone has a family?
There was some more stuff over. This was kind of the entrance on the way in. There's more stuff this way.
Spread and get worse. That's my sense.
Once we go farther in.
I got some information from this guy.
Well,
after the session.
Whoa.
Wow.
Can't metagame this shit.
Jeez.
You gotta know what you know.
So Danielle's been banned.
But it's up to you guys.
No. You guys do what you want.
I'm done.
Well,
with
it is spreading. We do know it's going through the rest of the building. So if either we can check out stuff elsewhere before it gets corrupted,
We just
or
might
just
have
go
to-
straight.
It's just
we might
kind
have
of,
to fit
it
more of
almost
it.
seems natural. So it's not something that has necessarily noticed you yet. It's just kind of the natural flow of how this room is working. And it seems to just kind of be bringing things towards this source of light.
It's a very feng shui kind of room.
Yeah.
Really draws the eye. You know?
Yeah. Really draws the eye.
hey,
focal
let's
points,
go.
Sure, why not? Let's do it.
How bad could it be?
We could throw someone first,
Yeah.
or like attach a rope to them and have them go.
let's
I mean,
see
you
who
were
has to
already
go.
walking towards the center. You're clearly
What if
drawn.
we send Paddington?
So you might as well go ahead.
We can rock, paper,
I
scissors.
am the.
It is made of stone.
Lightest
corrupted
of
last
foot, I
time.
would imagine.
Oh yeah.
Last time you went in there?
It's
Yeah,
true.
I don't think we should bring. I think we should not worry about Paddington for a bit.
Okay.
Maybe we should
Let's
just set him
leave him
down.
by the door
Yeah,
so that he can't
because
turn against us.
the moment he touches that stuff, he gets corrupted. So if we bring him back to life, he'll just.
Just
But
be
he's
corrupted.
not
can we
alive
leave him on the
anymore if he
floating
Yeah,
gets-
exactly. So he's just fine right now.
Wait,
No, I
how
know,
long
but
does
like-
the floating disc last though? It's
Corrupted,
only
you
what
say.
concentration? What
An
10
hour or
minutes?
something. We can just
It's a
set him
while.
down.
Okay.
Or you can just set him down. You can always just
I think let's just set him down and come back to him later. We'll
Yeah.
save him on the way out. You know,
Let's stash him in
There's
a.
like
What if we
three
can't
people
come
on the
back?
wall that we can slaughter.
we.
We can.
Well, we can't
They're
come
half
back.
eaten.
That's
The
true.
should-
floor is moving in
Either
one
we save
direction.
them or we take one and
Why
we
don't we
save
just
Paddington.
kill somebody really quick? Bring him back
Yes.
to life so that we have somebody else with us.
Okay, do it.
All right.
I
I
take
take
a
my
journey.
great axe and I look at somebody who looks.
So you have to prepare, I think, your spell. I don't know what it is.
So much
Imbue life
for
in
you.
Okay, yep.
Hating violence.
So then
Yeah,
you'll
something
be
that just-
using
I
a
remember
second
what
level
his
spell
character.
slot.
What?
Growing.
No, it's
on behalf
for
of the
it's
friends.
yes. Long story.
That's probably a much more difficult feat.
There are some very specific restrictions around this. Very official piece of paper I was given.
Only for
You can
Paddington.
raise specifically one of the 3 people on the wall, and that's it.
Yeah.
Can you reuse it? Like if we make that again on
I think
Paddington?
it's contingent on the fact that if it's a stone gargoyle, it'll come back as a stone gargoyle, and if it's a person, they're gonna come back super messed up.
It could be anyone.
Well, so that's the thing
I mean,
because
I'm
this,
also very interested in super messed up. So.
the stone gargoyle has been like you see all these runes around it. It's been like a prepared vessel, but anything else, like who knows what can.
Ooh,
turn
do
out.
me.
we were actually talking about that last time.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
We were like, oh, if
Isn't
somebody
that
dies,
you?
we
There are
could
two
bring them back to
people
life.
in one? You're going to be 3.
You don't know. While this is
You
going
guys
on,
can do whatever you'd like.
while
yeah.
all this is going on, by the way, they're arguing about who they're going to kill and bring back to life.
Yeah.
I'm having a very intense, because I can, despite what the people in this group say about me always talking to my amulet, we learned day one I could talk to it without actually
I did
speaking
see you
out loud.
talking to it before you learned how to
Before
do
you
that,
did
though.
that,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've ever since then
And I've
never,
been suspicious
and
ever
ever
since.
since then I've never talked to it out loud again. But I'm talking to Mr. Amulet in my head.
I'm
Yes.
suspicious. He's like walking into the
And,
cave.
and so I'm
What's
just
wrong
sort
with
of
this guy?
concentrating,
Everything, like-
and I say, these brethren you talk about, what are we talking here? Are we talking more friends that we could talk to on a consistent basis? What kind of stuff are we getting into here?
Well, my brethren, sir. People like me. The contained heralds, sir.
Ooh, contained, you say? More
Yes.
or less contained than you, would you say?
Well, that all depends on its particular master.
I mean, what are your ultimate goals, Mr. Amulet? Are you interested in no longer being contained?
Well, sir, the fact of the matter is
Yeah, the D6, but
heralds.
Oh, sorry.
somewhere.
Actually, give me a persuasion check.
It's in this, I don't know, this kind, but on D6. I was just wondering why it went.
I moved 1d6 from over here to your
Ah,
set
okay,
because it was
that must
this
be that.
one, but do you need it?
We need
No.
1d6 over here.
No,
It
no,
looks
I
like
was just
someone is
wondering
missing
because
one.
that was the
I have
one
one
that
here.
from the
10 plus 4, 14.
Okay, so he
these
says heralds are only interested in whom they serve, sir.
Who is it that you serve besides me, obviously, right now?
He says, well, I can sense sir, that you're not really prepared enough. The fact that
I've never been more prepared in my life.
you are keeping me away from my brethren. I'm trying to lead us
So-
to my brethren, sir.
So let me put this to you. If I take you to your brethren, what's in it for me?
What's in it for anyone but ascension, sir?
Ooh, ascension. Now you're speaking my language. Now, if one were so inclined to ascend, as you say, which I'm not saying I am, I'm also not saying I'm not, how many of your brethren would we have to get together?
Well, there are. It's difficult to say. My memories are quite faded, sir.
I see. Well, if that's the case, then we'll discuss later when perhaps your memories are a little bit more put together. Until then, I've got things to take care
But
of,
sir,
and
my
I'll just stop
memories-
talking to him.
My memories do grow stronger when more of us are together.
Interesting.
He's been awfully quiet.
Just trying to kill.
He's really quiet.
And then
Really
so
focused.
and then I'll just stare over at Paddington and get a really sad look on my face, lamenting the loss of a dear
Oh,
friend.
he's just
You
sad.
So
just
you were
met him.
You were trying to kill someone?
Yes, so did all of you.
No!
People on the wall, are they like,
We've
do
had
they have clothes and
adventures
stuff?
together.
Technically,
It's only
it's
been
very
a
much
day, but
covered
it feels
by
like a
rocks, so
lifetime.
Most of them are almost just maybe their like necks.
Yeah, I would like to borrow the cane and trying to pull people from
break
the
one
wall.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Or
They're
Mr.
gonna
Bond.
die.
Dude, this cane also
Perfect.
comes
Maybe
with
you
a
can
monocle
loot
at the
them.
top.
Yeah, just kill
It's a
one and
staff, but
you
yes.
can loot the rest.
You just
Anyway,
wanna loot
save
bodies.
some.
We can't loot all of them. We'll be here forever.
So,
You can't loot all of them.
you guys,
I
I don't think he's attuned. I don't think anyone's attuned to it yet.
To what? The
Oh,
staff?
To the staff. So they don't really know how to use it yet. But in time it could.
By all means,
perhaps.
throw a magical object at the wall of dead people. It's fine.
Who would you like me to
So,
kill?
wait.
Spell ready.
Yeah.
So the people that were working there,
Don't know
do
how
we
long.
still see some?
They ran away. So they
Ah.
left the cane behind, or left the staff behind, and took off.
Can I just kill someone and get this over with?
You certainly can.
Alright, I find somebody
Which way
who's
you want to go?
really ugly in the wall.
I agree with
Oh,
you
because
on the assessment of
They
how
don't
look.
deserve to live if they're ugly.
That way, yeah. And well, if they do
Yeah.
come back alive, they won't have any confidence in themselves, so they'll do what we say.
Exactly.
If we can find someone that looks like Suchi,
I am a gorgeous little Leo. I have the most
Do I have to hold
luxurious
for
gray skin that you
He
ever
had
seen.
he had a gnomish modeling career. It was very short.
I did. It's because I have exceptionally pointy ears for a gnome. It's very desirable.
Yes.
Do I have to roll for this?
Roll an attack.
So I pause. And I look this guy in the eyes. And I look at Paddington. I'm like, for Paddington! That's a 20 to hit.
So it hits. Roll damage.
Turns out the wall has 7 million health.
5 damage.
So you walk up to one of the to one of the people that's just kind of trapped in the wall. One of the acolytes. He looks just like a scared kid. He's a really ugly scared kid.
No, I meant like an ugly,
You had to pick that one? The smallest, littlest one on the wall? Really?
I meant an ugly, mean man.
They all are young
late. You made
acolytes.
your
They're
choice.
all
Too late
in their
for that.
20s.
It's too late.
So
It's too late.
You,
I'm going to the dark
for the
side.
sake of your gargoyle, take a huge swing, and the hands that are kind of sticking out of the wall go limp, and then you cast. So go ahead and roll.
5 damage killed him?
Roll
I'm
a.
He's just a little kid.
You probably only had a couple of health left from being crushed by the wall.
Roll an Arcana check.
Poor kid.
I'm shaking because I
Yeah.
was not in a rage and
Okay.
now I'm regretting my decision.
If you roll bad, we have more people we can kill.
I mean, he was very
We
ugly.
made
Yes.
Thank you. That makes
I
me
mean,
feel
you
better.
did him a favor.
That makes
He
me
would
feel
have
better.
had,
He was unfortunate looking at that.
Face
His
like a brick
acne.
wall,
His
if you will.
acne.
Oh.
Yeah, the wall had clearer skin than he did.
22.
And that little
so
like
as
puff of goatee
you
on his chin. It's
Doesn't look good.
you
Wow.
put your hand on Paddington, and as you see the person in the wall's head kind of slump down, suddenly you hear kind of the grinding of stone, and Paddington links to life.
Paddington!
Yeah, and it just like looks around. Hey,
It's
this
okay.
doesn't
Buzz?
talk. This is like just kind of waves.
It's okay. I'm chaotic neutral, guys. I'm chaotic neutral. It's all within my character.
The old chaotic neutral.
Get to everything.
Yeah, I can do whatever I want without consequences.
Exactly.
And then, okay, go ahead. So then it's on you guys for a little bit.
I hug Paddington fiercely.
It kind of is like gives you a back pat.
I brought you back to life.
Is it the
Paddington.
same or not? Paddington? I'm saying his name just to see if he.
It waves. It
Okay.
waves.
I give him a curt nod, but my eyes tell a much different story.
Yeah, and he kind of like holds up one of his like kind of gargoyle hands. And it's like
So
like
Okay.
pulls himself out.
I know. I know.
I'm super interested in finding the amulet's partner, even though I don't want to tell him that. So, can I ask my amulet if he can communicate with Paddington?
Yeah. So you can say, well, he's a low life form, sir, but if I must.
Here's all I'm trying to say is we share a
Paddington
similar
fly.
goal right now, and it would look very suspicious of me if I just started walking deep into the cave. But if our new friend Paddington happened to make his way in that direction, my friends and I would be obliged to follow and help him. I'm just going to throw that out there. You can do with it as you wish.
Mm-hmm. So he says, that's interesting prospect, sir, but I have a feeling we may not need to worry about expending ourselves. And as you guys watch, kind of the soil around Paddington begins to swirl, and those same dark veins start to crawl up
God damn it.
Paddington.
Let's move.
Once
Out,
again.
out, out.
I feel.
I'm helping Paddington, trying to crush with my eyes the
Too many
thing on his feet.
emotions.
Quick, get him off the ground with your floating disc.
Can
damn
we,
it.
levitate him?
He was on the
So you
disc
guys have
now.
a few
He's
seconds
on
here.
the disc. He's on.
He's
the
on the
disc.
He's on the disc?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
he still? I thought we put him
No,
down.
we put him.
We put him down.
Oh,
definitely put
We
him
might have set it down.
We put
We
him
might
That
have
was
down.
not my idea.
Yeah, 'cause we definitely were like, we're just gonna leave him here, and we put
We
the.
But
definitely
then
back
we
down.
decided we were going to bring him back to
Can
life.
you quickly put
first
him back on the
before
disc?
putting him
No.
Why not?
It's on cooldown, I think.
Well, it depends on how many spell slots you have. So you can
It's
do it.
it's a whatchamacallit?
Ritual.
Cantrip?
Cantrip.
What cantrip?
Oh, it's a cantrip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then that
So
means
you
you
can
can do
fire
it,
it.
right?
Well, I'm
Yeah, you
not
can,
much-
you can
Lift
trigger it again.
And all you gotta do is corrupt the disc too. Now we're gonna have a flying Paddington instead of
Murderous flying.
What a shit show this is gonna be.
Yeah.
Paddington's just like ultimate power.
Yeah, I can instantly cast it again.
Okay.
Dang.
So you
I-
lift Paddington up,
Yeah.
and you see kind of the darkness recede, and Paddington is like,
Sorry.
Sorry, bud.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Yes, let's go somewhere.
let's wait.
Okay.
Do we
Let's,
want to
follow
go?
the
Do we want to go
acolytes
into the
up
belly of the beast or out and explore
Paddington.
the rest?
What does Paddington
I
think?
want to follow the acolytes
So
that left.
Alana like speaks
I
up
forgot about her.
and she says, "Listen, I don't know who you are, but you're bloody monsters, and I'm gonna go find my gosh damn amulet."
I
It's the
take
last
that
thing I do.
personally.
And she begins to kind of, and you notice she doesn't take a direct path towards the center, but she starts to skirt the wall and is sort of working her way around the edge of the
Amulets. I've always been curious what a magic amulet might look like. I've never seen one myself.
She says, "Indeed."
I follow her
I'm
with
I-
Paddington into Awana disc.
Yeah.
I 100% would go wherever Alana goes because she's clearly the strongest one amongst us.
Fine, let's do it.
Yeah. I'm
So then, as
following
you
her
guys follow
carefully.
Alana, everybody
Wait,
gives.
is it Alana or Alara?
It's
The
Alara.
same.
It's
It's
Alara,
both.
but her friends call her Alana.
Okay, fine. Let's
Yeah.
do this.
Same thing. So you all work your way around kind of the corner of the room, and you begin to see sort of some like where that red light is, a shadow that's humanoid begins to take shape, and it looks like it's almost just a few feet off the ground, like its feet are just a few inches off the stone, and then everybody give me a stealth check.
Not my forte.
We're trying to be stealthy?
Well, you don't
Now
have to
we
be.
are.
Actually, you guys can just keep walking. No stealth check required.
No,
Also-
let's not. Let's not.
Also, I was wrong. It was an action, and I'll take up the slot.
Oh, it's all good.
19.
13.
Um,
10.
10.
3.
Oh.
so
You've done enough.
17.
So yeah, as you all look, as the red light kind of resolves into this person, you look that he's staring down on someone, and you hear a kind of like gravelly voice say, "How many more people have to die before you tell me the spell to unlock it?"
7.
7. And then as you guys, everyone's leaning forward listening, your kind cleric just stumbles forward.
You've
And
done
who's-
enough.
Who's
and
being
you
questioned?
pardon me?
Who's being questioned?
You
We
don't
don't
know. But you can see. Give me everyone. Or you give me a perception check because no one else is asking a question.
Do you have a glass I can grab somewhere?
Yes. Right above the microwave glasses, and then the wine shelf. There's glasses over there.
Do you have a charger?
In my room. You can just have this one. Use this one.
6.
So you have a 6. So you don't notice anything out of the ordinary. But yeah.
Can I
No,
try the
who's
perception
that?
check also?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm asking
Well, one more person do it.
We all do it. It increases the risk of taking error.
No, 10.
So 10, you just sense somebody in your party moves as if they recognize somebody. Like they're like, oh, like you can sense someone leaning forward.
Somebody.
Ilana?
in our
Ilana,
group?
Lara, probably?
Sounds
Yeah,
Probably.
you just saw
Must
movement
be.
from your own party.
Probably Alara.
Must be another delegate.
Oh.
Can I ask her? Lara, do you know? Do you know who's being questioned?
She just like holds up her hand, and as you see, you hear these kind of echoing footsteps start to come towards the source of the noise. It's echoing across.
Are there shadows we can just hide in?
There's lots of stalagmites, stalactites. There's kind of these kind of crumbled rock walls. There are still some figures kind of
6,
locked
7.
into it.
Something that can hide 7 people.
Yeah, I stand behind a stalactite or stalagmite.
In line. So, and we're trying to move.
Yeah,
So,
so everybody's like lining up around it.
So there's a shadowy figure in front of us.
So he's starting to come towards you, and
Can I cast True Strike on him?
what will that do?
Cantrip that just tells me insight into the target's defenses. Or should I do an Arcana
You
check?
can, but he may sense that you're investigating.
Would an Arcana check also?
Arcana check would be a little bit more neutral. That's just like kind of feeling for Matt. Well, I don't know. I don't really. What does True Sight say? I don't really know
True
exactly
Strike.
what.
You just point at something and brief insight into the target's defenses.
Okay, maybe that's fine. So you can do that if you'd like.
I'll just do an Arcana check.
Okay, give me a 20. Roll a d20.
15.
Okay, so you get a sense that there's some source of power that he is carrying that's letting him manipulate stone to a pretty exaggerated degree. But there is still, but you can sense that there's still there seems to be some like safeguards almost, like there's something like that's holding back. Though he individually is extremely strong, there is something holding kind of him at bay.
So when
Holding the power
going to have a
manipulate
second
at bay.
form and we'll fight him. Like, oh, that's not right for fight.
Yeah, this is-
Remove your amulet. It's like,
Jeff,
3 times the
I
size.
would have sworn we cast a spell to like detect magic, and we detected like some very strong sort of magic coming from Chase.
Yeah, we did do that, but I don't think you ever figured out what it was. You just
Okay.
saw that there was strong
Okay,
magic.
okay, that's all I remember. I suddenly remembered that.
Is the
Yeah.
breathing coming from this guy? The breathing sound?
It
We don't know if
seems
it was
to be-
breathing, but that
It's
sound.
actually, it's coming, give me a perception check for that.
15.
Okay, so you can tell that it's not him individually that's doing, but it's something that he's carrying. Seems to be making that sound.
Are you sharing this information with us? Tell us.
Yeah.
Yes, let me share.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
I noticed that there's a source of power on him. I don't know what it is, but it seems to be the source of the breathing noise that we hear.
So he's getting pretty close now, and you can either all give me a stealth check again to see if he sees you, if you're hiding.
I want to hide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this
Hide behind a
considered rocky
stalagmite.
Might to start off with.
Yeah. It is.
14.
My stealth checks have advantage in rocky terrain.
What kind of
At 11.
Yeah, 17.
17.
14.
You're not stealthy today.
No.
And that's a nat 20.
Alright, so then he walks up to the source of the noise, doesn't notice all of you, but he seizes your cleric and he lifts him up and says, "One of them got out of the wall, it seems."
I was never in the wall.
Don't say
The
that.
wall is no. I'm not friends with the wall. I'm not friends with it.
He says, "Then what are you doing here? This is not exactly my friendliest."
I'm going to try to save him.
I'm just out spelunking.
I'm just, I'm a spelunking tourist. I got confused. I can go. I can leave.
That's totally fine. We needed more fuel anyways. And he takes you, and you see him press him against the wall, and the stone just wraps around him.
Can I run out and shank this dude in the crotch?
You can certainly try.
I see him doing this, and since I had such a really high stealth roll,
Yeah.
I want to like basically sneak around and basically just like hamstring this guy.
So you have advantage because you have a stealth roll, but it'll just be whatever your
A
rate of
regular
attack.
attack.
He
Yeah.
doesn't
And then,
have to roll to do this to me.
You got a nat 20. Oh, those
I mean,
are
you
bad.
can try to resist in any way you can. You can try to squirm out of his hands with athletics.
I will, I think, try
you
to.
know, you can
fight
try. So
him
he's
with
lifting you up and he's
exercise.
starting to press you towards the wall, and you feel the rock starting to close around you.
Alright, I want to just cast a little sacred flame on him.
Okay.
It's a cantrip. He has to make a Dex 15 saving throw.
Okay.
It's radiant damage. If it's
All right.
I'll do mine after.
So I failed to save. So how much damage do I take?
2d8.
2d8. All right. Go ahead and give me that roll, and I need a way to write things down. I need a method of writing.
They're called pens.
Oh, here's one.
Oh, hooray! Thank you.
What's going on with the stone? Like, does it
People-
hurt you, or does it just hold?
Yeah,
you know,
the
like,
people in the
immobilize
stone.
you?
Can we add this look like in pain or?
They just look.
I'm feeling pain.
Hmm? Well, I'm not in it
You
yet.
can give me an investigation check.
Okay.
11.
11.
Oh,
Okay.
both of us.
So you see him wince back from the radiant damage.
Oh
He
my God,
drops
we're
you.
rolling so bad.
But then he steps back and you meet his eyes. And you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
God damn. Does he petrify people?
Do I get to take my cheap shot at him yet?
You can. Yeah, you can do that simultaneously.
And I have advantage, so right?
Yeah.
So Michaela and I got a 3 and a 4 for investigation, which is not great.
That's a 7 total.
Does an
I can
18
see
hit?
this, and you can see this, so it adds up.
Just barely.
So.
Oh no, you're talking about cheese.
And this is a sneak attack because I had advantage. So it's going to be 7. That is a total of 15 points of damage. So I'm basically going to sneak out from the shadow, and he's got him up in the neck, and I'm just going to go up and basically, because I'm short, I'm just going to start hacking with my rapier at like his hamstrings.
Okay, so then you have your rapier in his hamstrings. He winces and turn away, and suddenly you feel sensation come back into your arms.
I got you,
And your
thanks.
fingers as
Wait, what?
so now he rounds on you two, and you two roll me initiative.
We're still hiding, right?
You all are still hidden.
I think I'm going to roll initiative too. Or maybe,
Well, you're his bodyguard.
yeah.
I think
20.
15.
I'm gonna take advantage of stuff for a second here and just try and slowly move behind him.
Would you
Okay,
give me a
so
wine
hold on.
I
glass?
don't know if that's initiative. Okay.
Okay, I'm going
So
to
it's
roll
only count-
initiative too,
Yeah,
yeah.
so you're rolling me. No, what was yours?
15.
Initiative 10.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so he got an 8.
Thank you. So,
So Jeff, if I want to like surprise attack this guy, do I have to roll initiative, or can I just kind of be like?
You can probably do one action without rolling initiative now, but then once they start fighting, it'll be like you can jump in at any time, but they're going to be going on a fighting loop until you jump in.
Okay.
Is Paddington still with us?
Is an action?
Paddington is. He's still like
He's on his
levitating,
little
and
disc.
hidden as well.
Is the action can be an attack?
The action can be an attack. And
So I can have a free attack before doing the.
Yes, you can.
Oh, I'll do that.
15 is Alara.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll enter into a rage,
Okay.
and I'll attack with him, I guess, or her with a axe.
But it'll be your attack in this turn. It'll be your
Oh, for the.
yeah. It won't be like an extra because you already had your surprise round, so he's like ready to fight.
Oh,
so like,
okay.
anybody popping out is gonna be like
I'll do
in
my
the
turn
fight.
then.
Yeah. So it starts with Twitchly Switch.
so I'm going to use my bonus action to, as my cunning action, to disengage, so he doesn't get an
Okay.
attack of opportunity. I'm going to back up away from melee, basically like 20 feet away.
Maybe we should draw a little map here.
Um,
Grab a piece of paper.
Can disengage and look for an opportunity.
it's a rogue ability.
Ah, I was like, man, I need to do that.
Cunning action. I can take my bonus action to either dash, disengage, or hide.
So you guys are right up against the wall here. These are all the people that are trapped in the wall. This is kind of the big pillar where he's pushed up
How many people are trapped in the wall?
Wesley. And there's the guy so far.
Okay, so and
I'll put the guy here.
I came up behind
Wesley's
him.
here.
Good.
You're right here.
Okay.
And you're still hidden.
Yeah.
So you're back here, and then everybody else is kind of
Alright.
off screen.
So in this case, I'm going to disengage and move back towards the wall,
Okay.
and then I'm actually going to take out my short bow
Get some
and
more
take a
cover
shot
here.
at him. Okay, so yeah, so
And then here's the guy who's prostrate.
I'm going to back up, not behind this pillar because I still want to have a shot at him, but I'm going to be close to this pillar.
Wait,
Okay.
the guy who's prostrate?
So yeah, so you
Oh, the guy
you
who's-
saw him kind of trying to interrogate someone. And
That's
that
that's the
person-
one
Yeah.
being questioned.
Mhm.
That's the same guy we are attacking?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
So
You're attacking the person who is interrogating that person. The person who was being interrogated is still like
Okay.
kind of chained up by rock, but now he's bucking and trying to get free.
Do we see who the person is that we are fighting, or is it still a shadow with a gravelly voice?
You see that it's somebody like kind of dressed in these neat. Now that he's close up, you see it's kind of this person dressed like in a very like neat, pristine clothing, but he has almost like a Medusa-like hairstyle.
Oh my.
Nice.
Handsome.
Handsome devil.
Don't look at him.
I missed. I had a 10.
Right.
I want to
So
touch
you
his
missed.
butt.
Now it is on.
Just don't look at his eyes. You can look at his butt.
Give me an athletics check if you want to.
Perfect.
Now it's on
I will
you.
grade it that
All right.
So this guy's right up in your face. You can tell that he's trying to turn back and kind of make eye contact with you again.
While this combat is going on, can I try and like dash over to where the interrogation,
Yes.
the person being
T.
interrogated is? Like,
Yes.
That's a good idea.
stealthily go sneak over there.
Yeah. So you
Maybe I
stealthily
should
go.
do that
Give me a stealth. Or give me a. That'll probably be an acrobatics check because that's going to be.
Acrobatics.
Yes,
Oh,
take
jumping
them
from
off.
stalactite to
Yeah.
stalagmite. Oh boy.
I might go with you though, since I'm
Yeah,
so
go with me.
stealth. I
Oh,
might go
gosh.
with her. Should I roll
That's
it?
an
too?
11.
Yeah. All right. That'll just get you there.
Should I
Okay.
roll it too if I'm going with her?
Yeah, come with me.
Yeah.
20.
Nice.
Okay. Not 20,
All
just
right.
20 total.
Okay, so you both get there successfully, and yeah, so you see this person whose clothes are kind of shredded, beard scraggly. It's been growing out for a while.
I thought
He
he was
smells really
pristinely
bad.
dressed.
Huh?
I thought he was pristinely dressed.
No. That's this. The guy who's
Medusa
pristinely
Man.
dressed is
Oh, the evil guy.
assailant.
Okay, got it.
The
Okay.
victim is the one that's like kind of
Got it.
beat up clothes. And you can see that along with just kind of these
Jesus, you
binds,
smell awful.
yeah, along with these bindings around his wrist, you can see that like spikes
smell
of
them out.
stone seem to have
Smells like
grown
home.
out of the ground and like kind of pierced his skin in certain ways. So like kind of these like little like triangles of stone have been just like pierced through his arms, and he's like kind of laying flat like this.
Oh
Can I touch his butt?
You can
I touch his butt.
confirm.
Do the rest. Now you have a smelly hand.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm from the wilderness. It's fine.
So are we in combat with?
So they are in combat with him. You guys can still take some actions, but I'll probably start another round of combat before you all have a chance to do anything. So that was probably like all the actions you could take in those like 6 seconds. That just like so in those 6 seconds, you two just ran straight over that guy. While now it is on
With me still. Right?
Zuka. Well, you went into a rage.
Yeah.
And-
No, that's
okay. So now it's on.
That's-
Actually, now
that's
it's on
only
you.
part
Now.
of
So
my
now it's
action.
your turn.
That's
on
only
you.
part of my action.
Oh, yeah, sorry, but he's before you, so
Oh, okay.
he still has to go, and then it'll be you, and then it'll be Marlos.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm
And
gonna
probably
cast
Alana, too.
inflict wounds.
You're supposed to be a healer.
I know. So that's 17.
So you can
That'll hit.
heal him after that.
Okay. So he takes 3d10 necrotic damage.
Nice.
Okay, give me that.
Is this the 10?
I think so.
Yeah, that looks like a 10, yeah.
4,
Wait.
Oop.
Yes.
8, 5, 8, 13, 17.
Nice.
Nice.
17? Okay.
Yeah. I did have to touch him to do that. If that means anything.
So you touched him
Mhm.
to do that? Okay. So then you start to feel your fingers grow kind of harder to move. And he immediately grabs your arm.
Uh-oh.
But now it's on Zuka.
Yeah. So you're going to try to deliver him, or because you two with the
I want to try and break this
We're-
guy out. Yeah.
yeah.
We're in the other room though. I think you're still fighting.
Yes. So I'm going just to attack him.
Thanks for the sub,
rage.
Grover.
When I attack with my 2 axes. So first one is a 4 plus 8, 12.
Okay. That's gonna miss.
Okay. 7 plus 8.
Miss.
Okay. So I'm just like.
So you run forward.
Oh, I have a
take
free.
t-
Sorry,
Oh.
because I'm in rage, I have a free attack with one of my axes.
Okay.
Nice.
18! Yeah! Plus 8.
Alright, so that'll hit.
Yes, that's good. So it's 1d6 plus 5. So 2 plus 5, 7.
7? Okay. So you take 2 swings and you're just kind of more intimidated by this massive guy in front of you. Your third one connects, kind of cuts his arm, but you don't see any blood come out. Just kind of this like puff of dust. and then you're standing right up next to him now. Now it is on Alara, and she's gonna run forward and hold out her hands, and you see these kind of like blue motes of light. It almost looks like kind of wind rising around her arm. Wow, whiff and a whiff. So she holds out her hands, and these two kind of like blurs of the air just streak past Marlos, but he watches her from the side of his face. From the side of his eye, but she totally misses, like really badly.
Just kill her.
And then he turns on to you. So he grabs your chin and turns and he has your hand in one hand and grabs your chin and turns your face to meet his eyes.
No,
Give me a strength check.
Strength?
Saving.
It's not wisdom or...
Are we about to lose our healer?
I think he's just physically like muscling his eyeballs towards him.
To look at him.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we can imbue the soul of an ugly boy into him.
How's a 7 work for you?
So you are unable to resist, and you meet his eyes, and you suddenly feel your hands and your feet start going cold. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my god.
Are we going to lose our lure?
I
We could have just
I can
let
heal a
him
little
go into
bit,
the
but-
wall then.
That's 19.
Yes! We
So
should have just
suddenly-
stashed it in the wall.
You
Stay here, be
and
safe.
you meet
We'll
his
come back for
gaze
you.
with like your teeth clenched, and the feeling goes back in your arms, and he like as if he's like burned. His hand rips back, and he backs away from you. And then he rounds on Zuka, and he holds out his hands, and stone kind of forms in these two huge blades, and he takes two swings at
We
you.
should probably get in this fight.
15, huh?
15.
I wanna
There's a
break out
15.
the die
Oh wait,
first.
plus.
Maybe you
oh, yeah,
go?
that'll definitely hit.
Yeah,
I
just
can
go.
hit
Go.
myself.
Go.
Mm.
After this, I'm gonna jump into the fight, Joe.
You don't want
Yeah.
to deliver the integrity?
Yeah, that'll
I
be like a
can
20.
probably
Okay.
break that.
And there's a 10 hit? No.
No.
Alright, so then you take you take 6 points of piercing damage as one of those swords
Oh, wait.
connects with your
I
arm.
have a thing with my...
Oh yeah?
You take half
You're in a
piercing.
rage, right?
Yeah,
You take
my
half.
rage. So
So you only take 3 points of damage because you're real pissed.
Yeah.
Because you're real
Grr.
pissed.
Okay, cool.
Grr.
Alright, I gotta hold on my sanity here and start drinking.
Can I-
Sonia's scratch.
So can I join in this? Can I run and join in the fight?
You can.
I'm starting to realize that I'm needed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do I have to roll initiative?
Yes, you do.
That's a nat 20.
All right.
Nice.
So you'll be starting it up with Chase, and then as you, so it's actually going to be your turn, and Chase is in just a second, and Twitch to switch.
Should
Am I
join
in
the-
combat
should I
yet?
But
join the
as
fight?
you-
The two of us are not in combat yet, right?
Yeah, you two still are in combat. You're with the person that's
Yeah.
prone and like kind of bound.
I'm
You are still hiding with Paddington.
Yeah.
Everything's
just hanging. Am I able to cast cantrips before joining
So
the fight?
Paddington is just sticking with you. He has
Paddington
not
are just
engaged
having a
yet.
slumber party.
Am I
over
able
there.
to cast cantrips before joining the fight, or the moment that I do, I effectively join?
You, because you've waited around, you can probably get one in for free.
Okay.
But other than that, it'll be probably back. to-
I'll use True Strike, which is not a strike. Weirdly, I point at him and I get brief insight into his defenses.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Did we already do that?
No,
No,
I
he
did an
just-
Arcana check to be safe.
Oh, that was it. Okay, yeah.
I don't think I need a roll or anything.
Who's in that jar?
Which one?
If that
The
sheds
one
any
with the
light.
sand at the bottom?
Oh,
or
that's
whatever?
I don't think I
Um,
need a roll or anything.
No, you don't need to
it's
roll, you're
just
good.
a round of almonds.
So then you point towards this guy. You get a sudden sense of this person named Marlos. Oops, my pen just died. You get a sense that in this particular environment, he's very strong. You sense that he's drawing strength from the area around
Get
him.
him away from the stone.
Let's
You
put him on a floating disc.
and send it out the mouth.
Yeah.
You see that the earth that he's embodied himself, so you can sense that he was once probably a person, but he's kind of put like earth and stone beneath his skin, so he has a lot of armor just due to the fact that he's reinforced his bones with rock, and he's gonna have very, very strong resistance
Can you
to
teach us to do that?
any sort of attack. He's gonna be very, very resistant to
Any element, like whether it's magic or
Yeah.
physical.
actually go physical. He's very, very well grounded.
Can I shout this out to people?
Yes, you can.
Alright. It seems like he's in his natural element. If we can get him out of here or to a different spot, that seems like it'd be the most useful.
Thank you, walls. There's definitely no one
So
hiding
roll
there.
initiative because he definitely heard you. So roll initiative because he definitely heard you and you're in the loop
It's a
now.
stalking,
No, it was the walls.
It's
It
a
was the
talking
walls.
stalagmite.
Yeah, what are
Have
the
you
guy
not
in the
seen
world?
this?
They don't cry or
Yeah,
something?
it's one of
They're
those
just passive, like waiting for the death.
Yeah,
I
pretty
don't
much.
have a...
They've had a rust out. They've been there for a while.
Since I'm not
4?
The initiative's not like a stat anywhere, right? Or,
So
oh no,
then-
sorry,
Yeah.
+2 on top of it, or no?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay, 6.
That's right.
Should be plus your dex, though.
Okay, so
For the rigid.
so you are running forward, but as you do that, you hear another voice, one that you all recognize from the wind tower. It says, these fools. And from kind of the shadows comes Silas. And he's going to roll initiative.
He didn't die off screen.
No, it never really works that way, does it?
I was really hoping for that.
I thought you would be around. And now it's on you still. So you're running
So
forward,
where-
you see
where is
Silas
he?
come out. He
Is he in front
is...
of me, behind me?
So you are right here by the body. You're running this way. He's coming from kind of out here in like the other side of the room, where he must. Yeah, he was like kind of helping with the interrogation. So he walks past the guy who's on the ground and follows you towards where.
Well, I fell in my momentum, and I'm like, I'll deal with your windy
So,
ass later.
I'll.
That just means farting a lot?
Yeah.
I need another. Can
That's
somebody have
why
an
this
extra dice? Where's my dice bag? Can you pass me that dice
Here,
bag?
which one do you need?
Just any color. I just am gonna put a
Here's like a red.
something down just so it's visible. No, you guys can keep it if you need it.
No, we don't need it.
I'm just using it to mark people. But yeah, give me a red one. So this will be Silas. That's fine. This is Silas over here. Marlo is this little
Try to
1d4.
get an appropriate
Or
D&D.
As I run,
this is
I
perfect.
enter a rage suddenly. I'm very glad I killed that ugly, scrawny boy. This just passes through my mind as I'm running and entering a rage. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, he was ugly in his acne-filled face.
It's rude.
Wow, that feels like personal.
So much like pent up aggression.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Vitriol
Yeah.
for no reason.
But then I just, knowing that this guy is made of rock, I just take a giant swing at him.
Okay.
I'll flip him hit. Nat 20.
Nice.
Alright, so it's a crit.
Okay.
I'll take a little more too.
So, alright, I'm in a rage. So that means I get double the damage, right?
Or double the.
Double the
the
dice.
dice. Yeah, that's what I
Same
meant.
as it added.
Oh.
I maybe in a little bit. I'm still like pacing myself so I don't pass out by then.
30 points of damage.
All right, so
Jesus.
Nice.
You
um,
maxed out, right?
Yeah, I did 2 12s.
Nat 20 and then 2 12s.
Yeah.
dang.
It's the power. It's like it's the
Just
pure
thinking
joy
about
of
the
me.
So you take 2 huge swings, and you see kind of like dust explode from his back where you hit him, and he reels back.
And as he reels, I'm like, "Yas, bitch! Your worst nightmare is
and
here."
as you lean forward to stare at him, you find that he's turned already, and you are staring into his eyes. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Bring it, buddy.
Can we blindfold him?
What's my constitution here?
not
Is it a
terrible, I
saving
guess.
throw?
He has
Yeah.
looked at people, and he does look like Medusa.
16.
As you feel kind of cold and start to work your way up his arms, you're able to feel your strength push through. And
Gotta do
you
better than that,
get
you.
animation
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, Rocky son of a bitch.
Yeah, Rocky bastard. Okay, and as you are doing that, you see a flicker of metal right beside you, and Silas has two very long, thin blades out, and he takes 2 attacks on you. Does a 14 hit?
No.
How about a 20?
No, dog. Yeah, no, that's.
All right, and then where's it?
It's a lot of dice.
All right, so it didn't do much though. So that was 8 points of piercing damage as one of his slashes goes high, but the other one catches your shoulder. 8 points of piercing damage.
So that's 4 total for me.
That's right. 15, 16, 14, 24, 39.
The bloodlust, you know, keeps me going.
Okay.
Acne,
All right.
rage, bloodlust. Since I'm not in combat yet,
Yeah.
can I want to continue to try and free this guy.
Okay.
He's like restrained, right? So I can't just
Yeah.
like lift him up.
Yeah, so he has these stone restraints on his wrists. mainly,
I
believe,
have some. I have short swords. Can I use those to try and like break the restraints?
Yeah.
Okay. What do I roll?
Just do an attack.
Okay.
I just attack the.
So that's plus. Does that get a bonus or is it just?
Yeah, you can just. I mean,
Whatever your basic sword attack would be.
whatever your basic attack, like plus, 4 plus whatever it would be.
Which one's my basic attack?
Oh, yeah.
So an action, so whatever you're.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay, plus 6 then to hit.
For
Right?
Yeah, your short sword.
Yeah,
is
that
6.
would be 6.
So that is a 3 plus 6, which is a 9. Can I try with both?
Yeah. So
Okay.
you can attack both.
2 9s.
Those will both hit. I mean, it's just you
okay.
hitting rock. Yeah.
And then 1d6 plus 3 damage
Yep. Go for it.
each. Okay. So that's 2 and 3. Oh, so plus 3 for
Plus 3,
each
so
though.
it'll
So
be 5 and
5
6.
plus.
So with
6,
2 huge swings, you see the rock crack around his wrists, and he kind of gingerly lifts his hands from like the other spikes that are no longer binding him, and he stands up. And immediately he turns and holds out his hand, and a kind of spikes of stone just rocket towards Marlos and start like trying to pierce at him. So he's gonna get 17.
Which one's Marlos?
He's the bad guy. The guy with the snake. Yeah.
There's 2 of them.
Snake man.
Oh yeah,
Medusa.
Marlos
if you will.
is the
Medusa.
snake scary stone
Medusa,
man, the
yeah.
floating guy,
Mhm.
and then Silas is the
Jackass.
air mage
He's the
person.
fart
that-
man.
see.
Yeah.
Fart man. Yeah.
Yeah.
As I like to
Fart master.
refer to him.
So from this delegate's attack, he is going
Did we
to.
know
One
he
of
was-
them is going to hit.
Hmm?
Or from this
We
guy.
know he was a delegate.
We
Or maybe
supposed
it's
because
ours.
Elara recognized him.
8, 10. So he's going to take 10 points of piercing damage. It's 60 now. Okay, so he's going to take 10 points of piercing damage, and this guy is going to kind of like stand up and say, "You have to get that amulet off of him."
The what?
And that's all you hear. Nobody else hears that except you. So now it is on
What name?
you and Fox. Yeah, so it's on. It's on.
Are you first?
Well, you just
You
went.
rolled.
I
Because
already
you just
went.
went. You
Yeah,
just
he
went.
went,
Now it's on
so.
you.
Alright, so I'm starting to take my bonus action. I'm over by the pillar.
You hide.
I'm gonna talk to Angelo
Yeah.
and be like, "Yo, so I see this guy over here is got some powers that a dude in his condition probably wouldn't normally have. Is this brother of yours that you mentioned?"
Yes, he is particularly, how would one say, gifted with
So
the stone elements.
I would love to bring the two of you together. Could you please ask him to knock this shit off?
Oh, but he is like myself, sir, someone who listens closely to their master.
All I'm saying is we're inevitably going to win this fight. You can expedite this process by talking to the man, talk some sense into him. You do want to be together, don't you?
Give me a persuasion check. Let's see. That's not good.
8.
He says, I'm terribly sorry to let you down, sir. You are quite right that I'm sure you will be victorious if you are quite fortunate. But unfortunately, I would have a very difficult time negotiating with my dear brother.
So.
No, it's still walking here.
I was like, what in the world? I was like,
What a power move.
I mean,
Just take a sip of your wine.
I mean, it's your wine. You can drink it if you want, but. Okay, so that was my bonus, just talking to dudes. So now we're going to go for plan B.
Okay.
Attacking him until
I
fell on the floor.
cast Mage Hand.
Okay.
I take off whatever the outermost garment I have is,
Mhm.
and then I instruct my Mage Hand to go tie it around his face.
All right. So give me a.
That's pretty good.
And now you're shirtless.
I probably had a vest of some sort. I'm a very well equipped adventurer. Please, I have style. Layers are in right now.
So you take off your.
You're very
So
fashionable.
you're gonna have to give me a.
I might have a cummerbund. Who knows?
Yeah, you take off your cummerbund,
Great.
and you're gonna have to give me a really
I'm not
good.
really sure.
What would that
It's
be?
like a fancy menswear.
It's like when you have a tux and it's like the
Dexterity?
belt around your waist.
Yeah.
Give me a dexterity
For
check.
one hand tying a knot.
He's a very dexterous mage
What
hand.
is this
By the
sound?
way,
Yeah,
What
he
is
give me a
this
sleight
sound
of hand
one
check.
tying
That'd be a
knot?
sleight of hand check.
sleight of hand. That's not bad. That's 11.
So as your mage hand brings your cummerbund towards this guy's face, it those snakes that are kind of writhing around his head, one of them reaches out and strikes the mage hand and destroys it, and the cummerbund flutters to the ground.
God,
The
now you're
snakes
out of
aren't just for
cummerbund?
decoration.
I mean,
The cummerbund's just on the ground.
that was my favorite Tuesday cummerbund. Now I have to settle for
It's
the Wednesday
Wednesday.
cummerbund.
It's Wednesday. You should be
I'm
more
not
Oh well,
savage.
then Christ, it's a verdict. No problem at all.
So now you see Silas look at you and kind of get a sense that he realizes that you know what's going on, and he opens up both of his hands and two kind of balls of almost like multicolored light. Like it kind of seems to be like red, brown, white, kind of spin in each of his hands, and both of them rocket towards you, and they almost solidify as they're coming at you. Yeah, two balls
know.
flying towards you.
No.
Ooh, okay, so I guess that's gonna hit if that'd be a 25.
Okay.
And then a 11.
Don't think
No. All right.
I
Yeah.
think we need to get some better armor. I
Yeah.
think my armor's
We
pretty
can
good,
try
but
to
it's 25,
get the idea
so
of putting armor under our skins.
25
12. So you take 18 plus 22 points of bludgeoning
Take
damage.
half of that.
Cool. So you take 11 points of
Wow.
bludgeoning damage.
I'm using my reaction and doing uncanny dodge to take half damage from the attack.
Cool. 11 points of bludgeoning. And then it is on Alara. So Alara holds out her hands, takes 2 attacks. Again, that one's going to hit against
Thank
Marlos.
goodness she's finally worth her salt.
Yeah, she's trying. 6, 12, 10. So she does 10 points of piercing damage from like a wind attack. Marlos. Oh no, it's on Zuka now. So it's on you.
Yeah.
So you're right up next to this guy. He's just trying to kind of attack and stone your healer and your other fellow barbarian.
I think I'm going to stay
And this guy.
on the same ideas of trying to get through him. First attack 9 plus 8. 17?
That'll hit.
Oh, good. So it's 5 plus 5,
So 10.
10. It's gonna attack.
That's 2, right?
Oh yeah.
Because you're in the range.
Yes. 14 plus 8, I guess that's it. 2. 3 plus... I think that's just 3... Yes, maybe just 3.
It's the plus 2,
Okay.
right?
It just is the plus 2.
Oh, or maybe it's only on the first attack.
And you're in now, and I think I'm gonna have Paddington fight with you.
I only ever use my great axe, so.
Okay.
Oh, you're in combat.
So 3
Yeah,
plus
Paddington
8.
was near you.
He just
Oh,
I'm
I
in
forgot we did a
combat.
second
Yeah.
attack.
I don't know if Padding. Yeah.
Yeah, you and Paddington, we're just gonna bucket you guys into
I
the
didn't
same
use my
roll.
second attack
Okay.
last time.
Oh.
I didn't use my second attack last time.
And I missed the last one.
You missed
Totally
the last one?
forgot.
Okay. So then you got 10 points in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So you take a huge swing, it kind of cuts across his back, and again, he turns to you as you attack. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Are you doing anything to him?
Oh, that's
Ooh.
1.
Crit fail.
So as you attack, you feel your arms and your hands start to grow heavy, and then and you kind of feel some of your thoughts begin to fade out, and all of your friends watch as you turn into a statue.
You can kill someone on the wall and resurrect.
There's so many. We have so many lives.
That
So
is a
he
marked
becomes-
improvement from before. So
Man.
He's your bodyguard.
So
I mean, he was a body that was
Wait,
there.
quick question. Where are
This is
me
a
and
charmer, aren't
the
you?
prisoner guy? We're in a different room, right?
You're lucky you don't have
You and the
acne.
prisoner are right over here, just kind of
Okay.
further away in that room.
Most
Okay,
flawless.
but can
You
I?
just
Can
broke
we?
him out.
If we
He's-
were,
The only
if I
reason
were
you're
to
still alive.
try and
because you
engage
ever
in
one.
combat,
Yeah,
am I
you can
too
attack.
far?
No,
Or
you can attack. You can do
Okay.
range
If
attack.
you would like to
for sure.
try, by all means.
You don't have acne, so I have nothing against
Come at
you.
me. I have no concerns.
Did you
So
not
is
see my
he
30 points of
paralyzed
damage on
or
the last
petrified?
man?
We all
He's
get lucky every once in a while. Blind squirrels find nuts every once in a while.
Broken clock is right twice a day.
I've
Just
never
like
heard
you.
that.
Yep, the blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
It's not hard when there are 2 balls flying at your face. It happened earlier in the combat.
I mean, it's not an unusual situation. I'm rather open with these sort of things. Alright.
We know.
It's not a secret.
We suspect
Alright.
it.
I'm
So now-
gonna.
yeah.
Oh, can I engage in combat whenever, or do I like wait for a certain?
You will want to roll initiative.
Okay.
Roll initiative now, and then we'll
Okay.
figure out where you fit in. We may let you, depending on what it is, get an attack in before.
13.
Okay. So go ahead and go down.
Okay.
Unfortunately, right about where we are.
I can move, attack, and bonus action, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So movement, I'd like to run behind the nearest stalactite.
Okay, so you go back behind this stone over here.
Yeah. And action, I want to try and shoot at his eye.
Okay.
One of his eyes.
Yep.
Good call, good call. This girl gets it.
Okay, longbow shot.
All right.
So 15 plus 6.
All right, that'll hit.
And then 1d8 plus 3, but I think I also have some like passive ability as a ranger, right?
I think it gives you some bonus.
Hunter's Prey. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, the creature takes an extra 1d8 if it's below its HP maximum. So we've already done some damage to it, right?
Yeah.
So I get an extra 1d8.
2d8.
Nice.
Whatever.
Oh, wait, but I also... So as my bonus action, I can do Hunter's Prey. Or Hunter's Mark,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tyrande.
Okay.
Sure.
Sorry,
Yeah, okay, so I'll do that. You choose a creature and mark it as your quarry. I deal an extra 1d6 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 1d8 plus 3, 1d8, and 1d6,
Cool.
right?
Roll it up.
Am I 8? This is 8, right?
That's right, yeah.
What's an 8? A 5 and 1d6.
13. Man, crack the window even though the bus isn't loud. Busted.
and 6. So 8, 5, and 6. It's
Nice.
19.
19.
Do you have any bonuses?
Alright.
for the-
And I don't think so, but I'm trying to.
Is
Wait,
that
what?
1d8 plus something?
It was 1d8 plus 3 for the.
So 1d8 plus 3, so that was
So
8
that was
plus
the
3
8.
is 11.
No, the 8 was including.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, sorry.
And then the second 1d8, I assume it doesn't get the plus 3
No.
bonus. Yeah. So,
So yeah,
it's,
so
it's
19.
19.
Cool.
And aiming for one of his eyes.
So, as you draw back your bow, you pop out from surprise. You see the arrow just sail through the air, and you see this. All you see is his head just jerk back, and this kind of cloud of dust. And then everyone around him, except for you, kind of feels that like pressure of like it's kind of like numbing at the tips of their fingers, kind of dissolve. And even though he makes eye contact with some of you, and as he like yanks out the arrow, all you see is just kind of stone dust, like kind of gravel just kind of coming out, no gore or anything. But you feel like you can see you can meet his gaze without feeling this like weird tingling.
Whoever's close to him, they should just kind of be like. It's not me, but
Yeah, you are
maybe.
close to
Actually,
him.
I guess I am.
You are close to him. And you see the dust fluff out, but then he kind of glares at you with a very, very unhappy
Bring
look.
it.
Okay, so then now it is on our dear friend Marlos. So someone just blew. He goes with him.
Oh,
They've
okay.
been out of combat for a while.
Our best friends.
So he's gonna have a roll there. Does a
Who's he talking?
who's by him? Does a 12 hit?
No,
It's either you.
he's mad at me.
Does a 25 hit? No. Okay.
Wow.
Must be nice.
Something's not quite right. What are you hiding?
I take
I see what
1/6
you're
of the damage.
Against it.
Illusion. 16, 20.
As long as one of the persons.
So-
gets it, I'm happy.
He takes.
I'll always get it.
It's a huge.
What are you hiding?
So he takes. So you take 20 points of slashing damage as one of his hands reaches forward and his fingers kind of elongate into spikes and just slam into your shoulder.
Does he seem like we're doing any damage to him?
Yeah, he looks like some of like the stone is crumbling around his eyes, some of the stone's crumbling around his arm. Like he looks a little bit rougher,
Okay.
definitely than when he went into this.
I just smile at him.
And then he's going to use his bonus attack to turn on Alana, or Alara. And
It's actually 2 people this whole time.
oh my god, yeah. And he's going to do a crit,
Oh.
unfortunately for her.
That's a crit.
Critical.
So, 18 plus 28.
This is the opposite of a crit.
Wow.
What?
Oh, nice. Nice.
I was listening to a lot of Snoop Dogg today.
36.
Just cause.
Have you listened to Kamikaze yet?
Oh, I listened to it.
Did you listen to Machine Gun
So
Kelly's
Alana
response?
No, I didn't.
It's good. He
45
did a song called Rap Devil.
points of piercing damage as 2 huge stone spikes.
How much?
just- 45.
Oh
That's
my
kind of
God.
not
So
an
2
insult,
huge
though.
stone spikes just kind of go
It's
like
like kind
one
of a
shoulder to the other
compliment.
shoulder and just like pin her back.
song
She's
is
dead?
against
You
the
should
wall.
listen to it.
She's barely alive. So
But
you
she's
see
still
kind
up.
of like just blood
You
out
heal
from
her,
her
heal her,
mouth.
heal her, heal her.
And
I
she
can
seems
heal
like
also.
very, very
You
dizzy.
can't be that far from me.
I'm
right?
fine. You heal her.
So yeah, she's
Just
looking
find
really
one more
rough.
Oh, it's
Who knows what we'll
Alara's
get?
taking damage, not yours.
We'll get like some fat
She wasn't,
bartender.
honestly, she wasn't the kindest in the first place. If we just like
What if-
abused someone else's personality.
What if the sheep goes?
Wakes up and just like, eh.
The sheep. Rip sheep. Did she kill a sheep? She was so
No, the
mean.
we don't
amulet killed
know.
the sheep.
We don't know.
Oh,
if
the
we killed
amulet
the
killed a
sheep.
sheep. Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
the sheep mysteriously died.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't stone stuff out of the ground. The sheep just like started bleeding from
Sudden
its eyes,
sheep
I
death
think.
disease.
Sudden,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Mad
It's
sheep
terrible.
disease.
Mad sheep
Yeah.
disease.
So yeah, a lot of
Epidemic
blood
of
is kind of
sickness.
gutting from her mouth.
She flew.
Now it is on you and Paddington.
Oh boy, Paddington.
Yeah.
How, okay.
greatest bromance.
So
of
I'll
all
make
time.
Paddington. So Paddington is going to.
He's still on his disc.
Yeah, he's still on his disc, and he's going to kind of like pedal himself forward to try to attack Marlos. Oh, you got a nat 20 though.
Oh.
Let's go, Paddington.
Can be transformed into stone. That's good.
Yeah. So he's gonna do.
How much does Paddington weigh?
He's about 300 pounds.
Are you gonna throw him?
You should make
300
him
pounds.
big.
So 8.
Yeah, I can't do that. Sorry.
Oh, you
He'll,
can't.
he'll crush the floating disc.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't go over
So
this.
it's so Paddington
That's why I was doing
You
does.
should just have him
10
like
points of
float
damage.
forward.
And like swipe at people.
Wait, float him over with the floating disc, then make him big, and then he'll just crush
No,
him.
but if he
Goes
touches the
down,
ground,
yeah.
he'll get corrupted.
Oh, right.
That's why he is. If he's 300 pounds, it makes him times 8, and the disc only holds 500. So
Math.
2,400.
Math is hard.
Numbers. How do they work?
Um,
You don't have to tell Jeff, you know?
Yeah, I'll just be like, hey.
okay.
Seems
So
legit.
how is
I'm a writer. I'm dumb.
so how is Rocky looking?
He's looking pretty rough. He is, like some of his face is kind of like crumbled away. But he still seems like up. But he's pretty beat up. But then you also have Silas, who's kind of walking around.
And he's doing a-okay.
Yeah, so far it seems so.
So far.
We haven't attacked him, really. Right?
No.
I'm just waiting. That farty son.
With the ass.
I'm gonna cast
Big hot air balloon.
cast my meteors.
Okay.
Which means that for at least this turn, I can send 2 of them for 2d6. Or no, sorry. All these are so complex.
Just more balls flying at people's faces.
You know, sometimes the ball's gonna fly at faces.
I mean,
It's the way of the
it's
world.
it's
Gotta let balls fly.
No? Cool.
Twitch
There's no
Switch's dream.
stopping it.
It's your dream.
Ball's gonna do what ball's gonna do.
I mean, it's about half my dream.
Yeah.
You know, a group
You're
is a
open.
group. That's all I'm gonna say.
Not
So
surprised.
he can make a. Yeah, he can make a dexterity saving throw to take half damage.
Okay.
But 2d.
So
He
he's
takes
gonna,
2d6 per meteor, so 4d6, I guess.
So go ahead and roll it, because he is going to use his stone strength and immediately succeed on the save.
Okay,
Yeah, so he succeeded the save, so just do 2d6.
so
Or I guess, because it's
4.
do 46 divided by 2, because or whatever the save. So assuming he saves.
Right. 1, 2. Okay, so that was a 5, a 6, a 5, and a 5.
21
Okay.
divided by 2.
21 divided by 2, round down to 10.
10.
So these meteors hit him, 10 points of damage. He is looking rough, like kind of these little bits of flame are kind of eating up, from these like molten hot meteors are kind of eating up like his like really nice tunic, but he still seems like he's standing.
Is it
now,
Silas or
No, that was on
Marlos.
Rocky.
Marlos.
Yeah, so
Marlos.
them 2 went. Now it's you 2.
You got a nat 20. So
Yeah.
Quick
Okay.
question also.
Yeah.
So Marlos was like floating around, right?
Yeah,
Is Silas also floating?
Silas is on the ground.
Oh wait, Marlos is floating. I didn't.
He has
He
if you
said it was a
look
couple
closely.
inches off the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, if you look.
Alright,
See
so
something's holding him up.
this time I have to remember I get a second attack because I'm in a rage, so I'm not going to forget that. So
Okay.
I will just take a swing at him. That is I think it's. Where's my attacks? 17.
Oh, that'll just hit.
Oh,
That'll just
whew,
hit.
okay. Should I roll my second attack?
Just roll your second
Okay.
attack and then just add all the damage together.
That's not gonna hit. Alright, so 16 points of damage.
Okay. So you take a huge swing and like he is looking pretty rough. Like you see some kind of blood, streaming down his cheek. He's looking pretty rough. You see him hold out his hand, and then he drops one of the swords in his hand and he pulls out this other one from behind his back, and it's about 5 feet long, and it seems to kind of have this like yellow kind of band flowing through it. So he takes. Oh,
So that's what she said joke in there
uh-huh.
somewhere.
It felt like it.
Yeah.
It's about 5 feet long. Something like that.
Yellow
A
band.
little small, but
Yellow band, a little small. It's kind of embarrassing.
I mean, that only wraps around your leg 3 or 4 times.
I mean, who does that? Okay, so then he's not going to attack you yet, but now it's on you.
So, being the prudent adventurer that I am,
Yeah.
I'm going to move around the backside of this pillar.
I'm going to run away.
Because I was getting fucked over by somebody over here, and I'm just going to poke out and shoot at that guy.
Okay, do the thing. Shoot the
Which
gun.
guy? Silas or
Silas or
The dude that's
Marlos.
looking pretty rough.
Marlos.
That motherfucker.
Stone Man.
Where it's
Stone
stunned.
Man.
Where's the
I'm
stone
standing
man?
right
Which
here.
one's the stone man?
He's the one.
I said rough,
Here?
not rough.
Silas is the
We call
one
him
here.
Rocky Man.
Rocky and Farty.
Rocky, yeah.
Rocky Man.
And I failed miserably with a
Rocky and
11.
Farty.
So you missed.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action to disengage and hide behind the pillar. Because, contrary to popular belief, Mama did in fact raise a bitch.
So
She
you
also
see,
raised the carry,
so everyone sees Twixie switch, like blow on his fingers and like step out,
You're
take a
like Genji.
shot. It
You
just totally goes.
Peace out.
It totally goes high, and then you hear like a high-pitched squeal, and then suddenly he's gone. So now it is on our dear friend Silas, and
That's interesting.
he.
Sweeter than I anticipated.
Yeah, it's a sweet wine.
It's a sweet one.
Very sweet.
So he turns towards. Who is? I think it's who's.
I
up
was
close?
next to him.
You're next to
I'm
him.
next
You're
to
next to him.
I'm
You just took a
between.
shot, but you're hiding. And then you took the big meteor shot, and you're back over here with Paddington somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so then he turns to you.
To me?
Yeah, Silas turns to you, and he's gonna hold. Again, these kind of two multicolored balls start to kind of revolve. in his hand.
Balls.
Balls on balls. Here we go.
Balls on balls. Spheres. There you go.
Globes.
Wow.
Whose globes are, gonna...
2 of those. Okay.
Wait.
Nads.
Whose nads are stronger?
2 snaps.
Yeah, testicular fortitude.
So-
Is that what we're looking for?
Yeah.
Roll for testicular fortitude.
Third level
Plus
testicular.
strength or dexterity?
So, 2 of his attacks go wide, but then he resummons his balls. And
So it's a shame when you gotta resummon.
you gotta
It happens
resummon
to
your
everyone,
balls.
you know?
Happens to all guys.
Yeah.
And one of them
I cast
is
in
gonna
large.
do- Cast in large. So one of them is going to do a 26 hit.
Nah.
It's casual.
26 will hit, and then
I'm gonna assume
a-
that, given I don't know how to check if something hits,
it's
probably.
your AC is your
Armor
armor
class.
coefficient. So
There's
if your
no
armor
world in
class,
which that's not hitting.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to check
It hits
that.
me,
It's,
okay? So it hits you.
It's at the top. The top
Of
of the
what?
armor
There's
class.
15
Right, no,
pages.
scroll to the top. Scroll to the top.
It's your skills, not your
the
skills,
right.
your
See?
It's
On the right.
sitting.
your ability,
Oh.
saves, and senses.
Oh,
So
so if
there's
it's
another
higher
one-
than that number, it
there's
hits.
another one that's
I
15.
think if it's the same.
Is the other one that's 15 higher than that number?
What's your number?
My armor class is 12.
Yeah,
So
you,
they're both gonna hit.
Well, I
you
know-
got shit on by more than double.
So you got two. You're gonna have
I
2
know it was
attacks
gonna hit.
against
I
it.
just need to make sure I know what number
Yeah,
I'm looking at to
that's-
compare.
That's right. So you're gonna have 3.
Oh. When he starts doing math, you know it's bad. He's like 8 carry to 1 times 3 to the second power.
This one's gonna hurt. It's gonna be an Alara type hit.
I'm gonna make
Let's not.
calculator. It was just
So you're gonna take.
627.
I hand
Wait,
and
keep
view
messing
life
up.
just.
12.
So you're gonna
7.
take about 48 points.
What?
Of bludgeoning
Are you
damage.
dead? You're dead.
Oh jeez, is that it?
Holy
Wait,
shit.
how many, what's
Don't
your
worry.
life?
I'm
What's your
at,
life?
don't worry, I'm
You are
at
very
full
to have that much
health
health
with
right now.
28?
27
Oh
health.
shit.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
No. I'm at,
No, he's gonna die.
my full health
I
is
mean,
27.
Yeah,
he's
but you're not
down.
like dead.
He's down. He's down.
He has to.
He's
He has
down.
his throws to make.
Well,
He's
yeah,
still
yeah,
alive.
yeah.
He's
But
still
it's
alive.
not
You can try and
double.
stabilize
So
him.
if
It's not double.
it's double
That's
your
really good.
health, then you're
You're
like
just-
immediately
you're
just
flat
dead.
dead.
Your character's gone.
Man, that was close.
Wait, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that
was
was a
pretty
thing.
close.
So if you'd
Yeah.
gotten like 54 points of damage, he would have just been out of the game.
Oh.
Or
So-
As I fall, my
64,
hand
whatever it is, 64.
gently brushes Paddington.
So you touch Paddington on the way down, and you see like a little stone tear coming down from
Can you
his
please do
eye.
your job?
As you just hit like the wall behind you, as like two like these two like kind of like crystal like hunks of crystal just like slam you in to the back of the wall.
Oh
So
my
you're at the
God.
back of the wall, slumped down. Yeah, he's hitting hard.
Well, it's not clean.
Okay, so
either.
yeah,
It's pretty filthy.
because I misread the actual
never
how much
be
damage
killed
you
again.
guys supposed to do. So now it is on Alara. So
Isn't she almost dead?
she's almost dead. She's looking pretty rough. So she holds out like only one hand this time because she's so fucked up. But a small kind of spike of air will connect with Silas, and he's gonna take. He's gonna take 17 points of piercing damage as like a spike of wind hits his arm.
Is it to Silas or Marlowe's?
Silas.
But
She's
doesn't-
attacking Silas because he was the one that messed her up. So he's the one that blew her up, and then he just blew up. Red.
But wouldn't he have resistance to wind
Covers.
magic? Or...
He does, but she's very,
She's
very
fine.
adept in it, so
Oh,
she's
okay.
gonna be able to get through. Yeah. Okay, so now it is on you, sir.
So does any heal gets him back up?
Yeah.
All
Any
right.
heal, even like one.
So I'm gonna cast second level healing word. Wait. Oh, never mind. Alright, I'm just gonna run over to him and do a second level cure wounds.
Okay.
We're having big guns.
Yeah. So you get 2d8 plus 4 back.
Ooh.
I'm very bitter at you for having you do this.
You know how much time it
Eight.
takes me to recover these?
Do you know what my hourly rate is?
Yeah. I'm a doctor. I
Eight.
go to medical school for
So
free.
you get 20 points of health back.
Ah. So almost a full
You're
life.
welcome.
Are you still negative?
I come back to life, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
do you go
You
negative?
come back.
No,
Yeah, you
this-
come back
there's
to.
not
You,
Okay.
I'm
you
still-
get knocked unconscious whenever you take that much damage, and then you kind of come back to consciousness.
Is he
Okay.
still inside the wall?
I'm still.
No, he's not. He like it slammed against the wall, and then he just like dropped off and vanished.
With what little
Yeah.
breath I have, I look to
You
him
have a lot of breath. You feel
longingly
good.
and say, "We're even for you killing Paddington now."
And I tactically step behind him. So he's in between me and the enemy. You're like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Call it even.
Yeah.
You probably feel like a million
Cat
bucks.
is
You're just getting like knocked
self-preservation.
out, and now you're like
Yeah.
back to health
Cat
levels.
is busy.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Where's Prill?
Where is Phil?
Where's that?
Dude, I went to the freaking league finals with
I
him.
know. I
It was
wanted
so
to
good.
go. I wanted to
We
go.
were babysitting
It was a good heal.
Yeah, we were drinking beer. and
That was
watching
as
movies.
good as it
That's
could have
very
been.
strong.
Yeah.
We had a
That
nice
sounds
time. We
good.
watched
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Mm.
Raisin
Wow,
bright.
Yeah.
sounds riveting.
So now it is on
What health are you at now?
you, sir.
20.
Yeah. I'm still
Oh, you're still
studying.
petrified. Oh my
Get
gosh. So then
absolutely shit on, dude. That
you're
sucks.
you're busy being a statue.
How do we
And
undo
then
that?
now it
Oh,
is
we have the
on.
staff.
We should probably try
You.
to kick him. I bet
We have
that'll
the
work.
staff. We have the staff.
We can't use stuff until we have
I
time.
don't wanna waste my
So
time.
we'll let him hang out for a bit, and then
We
we'll
can put it on a
Nope.
disc. I can summon more than one.
There you
Yeah.
go.
You take 5 points of damage for stubbing your toe.
guys, we cannot kick him back to life. Can't confirm. Still a statue after the kick.
I don't believe you when I punch him.
So this, yeah, there's a way to restore him.
Oh,
but
dude,
it's
can we
only-
break like an ear off while he's a stone? That way
On
he doesn't
me?
have an ear when he
Pinky.
goes back. Oh, that's so good.
That
Just
would-
a pinky. He won't miss it.
So yeah. So yeah, it's on you now.
Okay. Shit.
You ready?
Do
He's
we
like,
think that, can he still petrify people with one eye?
No.
Or-
So
okay.
he lost that ability. It's
Great.
Switchly. I like the way you think.
Like,
He wants to break his
I'm
junk
gonna
off.
break his junk off while he's
so a great way to piss off your bodyguard.
Eunuchs were typically bodyguards. You
true.
saw Game of Thrones. You
That's
saw
true.
it. You kidding me?
That's
Okay.
Trying to upgrade you right now.
I will take another longbow shot at
Cool.
Marlos.
Can it be an extra longbow shot?
The longest.
That's what she said. Joking.
The longest of bows.
Longest of
Shoot right
bows.
now.
Yeah.
Somebody, that's what she
With
said.
extra girth too.
I do like a good girthy shot.
I prepare in large.
Ready.
Whenever you need it.
You gotta be on deck whenever
That's
it's
a That's a 16.
Alright, that'll hit. Alright, no, 16 will not. 16 will miss.
Oh, okay. Well, doesn't hit, but as my bonus action, can I cast which one of them has been doing more like close range damage? Are they both ranged?
Probably Marlos, right?
I think Marlos.
Marlos will do more close range damage.
But he floats around.
He also pulled out that new dank sword that we don't know what it does yet. So
Yeah,
if
okay,
we could
so
find that.
It's like
I
he's
have
trying
this.
to
I have this
shush
spell
the
that I'm
balls.
trying to use called Spike Growth that will like make an area of spiky stuff that will damage them when they move. But since Marlos is floaty, I don't know if that affects him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how
Does
is
it, or
floating?
does
You
it
should
not?
probably just
Can
put
I
it
ask?
underneath to get a test.
Well, so I'm debating whether to put it on him or
It won't
on
be-
Silas,
I mean, so
right?
he's
Because
floating-
Silas is definitely on the
It
ground.
won't affect him because he's. It won't affect
Yeah.
Marlos because he's.
How long?
Yeah.
Okay,
It'll
that's what I was
affect
thinking.
Silas.
How big is the area?
It will, but Silas is
Yeah,
ranged
I know.
attacks anyway, right? So maybe he's not even that likely to move around. But I can try.
It
Like, it's my
depends on
bonus
if
action,
people
so maybe it
close.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's up to you guys. It depends on
How big is the area?
depends on the people
20
that are
feet,
close.
and
Maybe you
then
can have
when the
both,
creature
you can say?
moves, it takes 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet.
How far there?
Is that us
One
too?
from
That
any
also-
other?
Yeah,
includes
so
us,
we can't
so,
go
yeah.
in there.
I'm in
also.
stone,
Yeah,
so
we
I
need
don't
to-
Oh,
move
yeah,
like
you realize
right
that
away.
I think I'm gonna wait this time, guys.
Wait, okay, wait. How far away is he?
He's maybe because you're pretty close. He's maybe about 10 feet. 10 feet from me.
If I run over and cast Cure Wounds, can I
You can
realign
start
him?
his restoration process.
Alright,
Is this 12 step for restoration?
sure. I'll
Run
run
over
over
first.
and
It'll
try to
take
Cure
him
Wounds
a
on
few
him.
rounds.
The first step is just believing, you know?
Yeah.
Look at
It's
him.
like
Like
problem.
Paddington. We didn't,
So you
we
go
did
up and do
that.
cure wounds.
Yeah, so I run over to
Yeah, so
him
go
and I
ahead and
touch
roll
him,
it.
and
Yeah.
I do Cure Wounds, which a creature I touch regains 1d8 plus
All right,
my...
so go ahead and roll the healing,
Waxy.
and then depending on that roll, it will be how long it takes for him to get out of it.
Wait, so I roll d8.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, roll
It
your
It
healing.
says 1d8 plus my spellcasting ability
Alrighty, well,
modifier.
Yeah, so
What
like
does
it'll
that
be
mean?
like plus whatever. It'll usually be like plus 4 or 5.
Where would I find my spell?
It'll be under your spell sheet usually. Do you guys know where to find your spellcasting modifier?
Oh, found it.
On the new one, it tells you
right?
what it is right next to all the spells.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so 1d8 plus 2.
Okay, cool.
That's an
6.
8.
So 8.
Okay, so then you have one more turn to wait until your petrification
Yeah.
lifts.
Yay.
And then it is on Marlos, who sees this small ranger who smells like alcohol.
He smelled me by my breath.
Yeah. Trying to like heal one of his victims. So he kind of like spins that massive sword in his hand, and he's gonna take 3 huge swings at you.
Oh, Jesus, I might
Can
die.
I like try and move?
One
in the
is a
middle
nat
of this?
20.
Oh, can I move in the middle of this at all, or no?
2. What's that?
Can I like try and like body block this at all?
You can maybe do an assistance. I don't know. I don't think that really works. I don't know.
I can't
Another
take for my
20.
team.
Oh my
I
god.
can't take for my team.
I'm gonna
What
die.
is this?
I mean,
You roll
220s,
220s.
You're gonna get fucking one shot.
Yeah.
Bro, just got smacked.
I'm wrecked.
I'm trying to take. I can't. Oh my gosh.
8.
This is not like hot, so I can't just like peel.
Oh, you're dead.
You're dead.
How does 45 points of piercing
you're
damage
still
do
alive,
for
you're
you?
still alive.
What? How am I alive?
24 times.
Yeah, no, she's
Oh.
unconscious.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
unconscious.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
like
you're
dead,
still-
dead, but I'm
No, you're not dead.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about.
Oh, versus like 24
Yeah, 'cause
times
if it's 2
2 would be
times your max
48.
health, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
die.
yeah.
It's how many points? 44, you said?
45 points of damage.
If 48 would
Ooh,
kill
3
her.
more, I'd be like dead for real.
Holy
That's what I
shit.
was. She had
Well,
24.
it's
Sorry,
two
it's
times
like
your max
lightning
health,
damage.
so it would have had to be 88.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to permanent kill you.
Are you sure?
I thought it was just your.
2 times your max health.
Yeah,
Oh,
two
you're
times
Oh,
your
okay.
max
Oh,
health.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Never
But
mind.
That would
I was
super
full-
suck
I
if you
was
were
at
at
full.
Yeah, you were,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
That's
that's
true. You're right. You're right.
To,
That
like,
doesn't make
I'm gonna kill you?
sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you're unconscious.
I'm unconscious.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then... So, yeah, those are his 3 strikes. He's done. Now it is on you and Paddington.
Cool. I'll defer to Paddington and go first. The handsome devil that he is.
Alright, you're gonna do something with Paddington. Sorry, someone was chatting.
I'll ask Paddington if he wants to go up and get a nice clean shot in on Rocky.
Rolling forward. Alright.
Yeah.
So when you push Paddington forward, Paddington's going to take an attack. 14 is going to miss, so he's going to be...
It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
You look great doing it.
Happens to the best of us.
So it's on you.
So on my bonus
The effort that
action,
counts.
I can use the meteors because I still have
That's
4
right.
4 left. So
That's right.
2
Make a little
4d6
rosé.
again.
Yeah.
Which is halved for this guy because he doesn't.
Just finish it.
Yeah.
He's
gonna-
looking low.
He's
looking
looking
worse
pretty
for
rough right now. He's like, like stone is kind of just crumbling away from him.
1, 6, 3. So that's 11.
So that'll be 6 or 5. It'll
5.
be 5. So
5 points of damage to him.
Yeah.
But that's his bonus action.
Okay, so that's his bonus. That's your bonus action. So you do 5 points of damage. He's looking pretty rough, but the meteors hit him. He kind of shrugs most of them off, but he's kind of leaning forward very heavily now, almost using that sword as like a cane to keep himself upright. So he's looking pretty bad. Now it is on.
I have
Oh,
an
yeah.
action now.
Oh, yeah, okay, that was your bonus action. I'm sorry. I thought you used your action to push Paddington. Anyways.
Oh, does that count?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah,
That could be
I'm gonna do mirror image. So I create 3 versions of myself for when they attack me.
Sounds good. So you
You're wise.
triplicate yourself, and you're...
That's the spell
You have
somebody
3
cast us
different,
after their discussion.
wizards doing things.
Nearly
awesome.
dead.
Now it is on...
Alright, so
Am I still closest to Marlowe's?
You are very close, yeah. You're very close.
Okay, then I guess I'm just gonna attack that son of a biatch.
Do it.
Oops. Options open. Take a swing of the old great axe. Is a 21 hit.
That'll hit.
Should I roll my second attack?
Yeah, may as well.
Second attack, not gonna hit.
Alright.
Alright.
How much you gonna do? You gonna finish him here?
15 points of damage.
How do you want to do this?
Yay! How do I want to do this? I think I want to like grab his own like 5-foot sword.
Yeah, you grab that sword.
Man, would you like me to cast enlarge?
I'd like you to cast enlarge, and then I'd like to shove it up his nether regions.
Wow.
Until it
You're
comes
into
out
that?
his
I see.
skull.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
Up the butt, out the skull, and then I'm gonna say,
Okay.
"Yas, queen."
Go fuck yourself.
Alright. So, the barbarian, in the midst of her rage, seizes the massive sword that Marlos is leaning on, turns it on him, shoves it up his ass so far that it comes out of his skull. Suddenly, Marlowe just dissolves into dust around him, and you're left carrying this enormously heavy sword.
I also got the amulet.
But that's the unfortunate part, because it is hovering in the air just a few feet in front of you and immediately rockets back towards Silas, who snatches it out of the air.
I don't even get like to grab it and try and grab it.
You can try. It's Give me an
Acrobatics
athletics check.
or athletics? Because I'm right there.
Roll a quick 40. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Just
Good
a
try.
mere 25.
So you reach for it, you're able to grab it, but the force is so strong that you're getting pulled towards Silas.
Bring it.
Alright?
You would have to like nat 20 to actually grab it, basically.
Yeah, she would have got. Well, she grabbed it, but like,
No, to
so
like
she
successfully arrest it from the air.
It's a very, very strong pull. Like, it's pretty much, yeah. It's gonna pull whatever is coming towards the guy.
I'm a large lady.
You are, and it's still pulling
Okay.
you.
Does that make it my turn?
It does indeed.
Alright, so we're gonna have another conversation with that.
Yeah.
Be like,
As I'm holding it.
so I can see that your dear brother no longer has a master. I would like to officially throw my hat in the ring as the master of what would you call him?
Oh, you call my brother?
Yes. What's his name?
Ah, well, whatever the name his master gives him, sir.
I would like to be the one to formally give him a name. If you could put in a good word when the conversation arises, that would be fantastic.
Indeed, sir. Okay, so then you hear a voice that says, "Sir, if you choose, I could try to influence how my brother is being pulled at the moment, sir."
That would be fantastic. If you could just, direct him towards me, that would be I mean, obviously you two want to be together. I want that for you as well.
I would be
So,
suspicious
if
of
you
I
that.
could
will
pull
need
it
some
towards me.
fuel, sir.
Fuel. Well, there is this gentleman over here. He's been sending wind. He sent a few balls in my face, which I wasn't opposed to, but it wasn't the time. And if you could just, you could use him. That would be fantastic.
Fortunately, that gentleman is warded, sir.
So
There may need to be.
I've also
another-
happened to notice there's plenty of people in the walls around here. And if what our group has determined previously is anything to go by, you can choose the ones that you find the least attractive and just go ahead and off them.
Find one with acne.
But sir, they've already been used as
All of
fuel.
them? Oh gosh,
Yes.
well, I mean, can you use someone who is currently turned to stone as fuel?
I could not someone who is stone, sir. I am unfortunately not as gifted in that area as my brother.
So, do you have to kill them or just slightly hurt them? Take a little bit of fuel.
It depends on the level of intensity, sir.
How much would it take to redirect towards me? I'm doing this for you. This is purely so the two of you can be together.
Give me a persuasion check.
I'm very persuasive.
I don't think any of us know, right?
No.
Or like we've been kind of suspiciously
Feeling like
watching
I
him.
feel like we keep getting like random bits of information pointing towards it. I'm just
That
waiting
is
for us
the
to know.
big villain of
I
the
don't-
story.
I don't think I remember us
It's an
knowing.
anti-hero.
And yeah, the scenery.
Let's be
It's like,
clear.
oh, Chess is the bad guy
Yeah.
all along.
We actually talked about it way before the campaign started.
I'm just one man.
That's
Persuasion
when you're a
15.
goblin.
He says, I can use some of my reserves, sir, but
So here,
that wind wench who carried me, I will require her life, sir.
I'll make you a deal.
Laura.
You use some of your
The life of
reserves
who?
now.
Alara.
Alara
Ah.
is the one key that we have to getting you back together with the rest of your brother. She's all we have to go off of. So I would be loath to get rid of her now. But here's what I will promise you. The next town that we walk into, I will let you pick any two people that are not one of our immediate group. You can just have them. Doesn't matter who they are. That is your decision.
I
Up
suppose.
to you. All you need to do is dig deep for me now
You're not even
and
gonna.
bring the amulet
You don't even
in
look
my
them in the
general
eye.
direction.
You're not even gonna find the ugliest one. You're just gonna say anyone.
Whoever.
What if
It's
they're
not-
beautiful?
It's not. You guys don't hear any.
This is
It's
all
not.
just outside
It is
me.
not up to me. This is purely your choice. If
Wait,
you
what happened
think-
to the other guy
Without
that was that
immediate
we
fuel,
freed?
my reserves can only go
That's a
so
great
far.
question.
He hasn't
sir.
taken his turn.
I apologize.
What if I give you some of my life force? It's quite valuable. Trust me.
He says it will be quite taxing, sir, but if you are
You can
willing,
take me to the brink of death. It doesn't matter.
be that as it may, and then you're unconscious. But the amulet suddenly...
Unconscious crew.
Wait,
Yeah.
well, if I'm pulling it two-handed, you can at least be at one, so I'm conscious to
No.
grab the amulet.
Well, it's gonna just go straight. You see it, like, even while it's dragging her behind it, it goes straight around your neck and joins with the other one. And you feel a sudden swell
He's
of
unconscious.
power. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of like in your dreams, you feel a sudden swell of
It's
just...
very loose.
I mean, do the rest of them
Well,
see this
she-
happen?
I'm holding
She's-
on to this at this
Yeah,
point.
so
do
you
I now
def-
realize that he
yeah,
has two
you-
amulets?
You do definitely realize that something funny is going on with your dear friend in your party
I have no problem with
who
this.
suddenly collapsed.
Can I just smack him just to knock him out completely?
If
He's
you
already
do, it'll be a
unconscious,
death
right?
saving.
He has one
If
left.
you actually successfully land that hit, it will expend a death saving throw. Even
At
if
this
it's
point,
bad.
I've been
by his-
suspicious of him for a very long time.
Once
Claire.
killed a man with a slap.
Death by a slap. That would be fitting.
So-
end
It's
He's
very
unconscious.
tempting.
We do still need to deal with Silas.
Actually, we'll leave you. Well, actually, yeah. Okay, so he's unconscious. You're
Can we
you're
take the
unconscious.
amulets
Unconscious.
off of
Yeah.
him while he's unconscious?
I would
Huh?
imagine that if I'm expending my entire life to get the amulets around my neck,
It's
they're
bad.
not,
It's
they're
pretty
not
tight.
easily removed from my
It's
neck.
pretty difficult to get off. Like,
Do you
just think
think
about the
with
way you've
the-
gotten it off the last few people.
Maybe if we separate the head from the torso.
So yeah, he's unconscious,
But I'm still holding
Um,
on to it.
and so that was his move. Now it is on Silas, who sees that his amulet has been taken away.
By the way,
Um,
hold on, wait. What about the guy that we freed?
The victim.
Yeah, he is. I actually didn't roll initiative. He can make some moves though. So I'm gonna give him. He's right.
He's
gonna
been
be,
not helping us for
he's
3
gonna be
turns.
right after
He's just
Alara.
like- maybe he was just.
He's pretty
dazed,
beat up. He's
you know,
pretty beat
yeah.
up. Yeah. So then there we go. So he'll be right after Alara because he actually rolled the same as her. So now it is on Silas, who does kind of two things. He stretches one hand towards your dear unconscious friend, where there's a barbarian latched onto him, and then now you both start sliding back towards him.
And I grab onto both the amulets at this point because
Yeah.
I'm like, this motherfucker. Like, I'm just holding on to it. I'm just,
You just can't let me
Ain't nobody,
So you all three, all of you start sliding towards Silas. He holds out his hand towards Alara, and you see some more of those kind of crystals form in his hand. That's gonna miss. That's gonna miss, and that's gonna hit.
So many dice.
So much math.
It's okay.
So Alara is going to take 20-something points of damage. So she's going to fall unconscious and collapse.
Then there were 3.
And now it is
3.
And
He's a
as
statue.
you all,
Paddington.
as
Oh,
you
it's
two,
you and me.
yeah, as you two
And him.
slide up
Oh,
to as you two slide up to Silas,
And the
you
battery.
feel his
Yeah, yeah.
his hand wrap around both of those amulets, and he starts to like yank. Like,
So
starts
he
to try
can
to,
yank
pull
them and I can.
Well, I mean, you like, but he's like trying to like pull them off as well.
Stop yanking
You
each other's
both-
chain.
I know he's starting to yank some
Dog, I
chains.
paid dearly for this. You fuckers can try.
True.
How long before I get unstoned?
Dog,
Yeah.
you're stoned until we tell you otherwise.
Yeah, we can get you the
I'll
vape.
put
you'll
some
be
We
Spice
stoned.
sacrificed
in
an
your
ugly
mouth.
child for the last statue. Give us a minute.
But it was
Um,
one turn since the last time
Alright,
that we tried to
Just
do it.
in one
right?
turn? Okay.
So yeah, it should actually be right back. You have one more, and then it's gonna be you're gonna be alive again. And then now it is on. Alana's passed out. The rock guy will make an attack on Silas. 9.
The rock guy is
Uh,
dead.
victim.
No, he's the delegate. that you
Oh,
freed.
sorry, yeah.
That'll be 10.
Alana 2.
Or 12. That's fine. 7.
No, I'm saying his name is
So he's gonna
Alana.
take
Oh,
12
yeah.
points
Everybody's
of
on
bludgeoning
before
damage
that.
as kind of like almost like a shower of stones just opens up over him. So Silas kind of grimaces and reels back, and you feel his grip slip away from the amulet, and it remains very tightly fastened around Twitchy Switch's neck. Then it is on. You're passed out. You're stone. Marlos is dead. It's on you.
The fight to end all fights. It's like a Brandon Sanderson novel.
Well, I really don't want him to get the.
Need more freaking weight.
How's he looking? How's Silas feeling?
Silas is looking still pretty fresh.
I'm gonna cast.
He's like medium. Like he's kind of
Well,
like a little beat up.
I'm gonna bonus action my 4d6 for my last 2 meteors onto him.
Okay. Cool.
Dang.
4, 3, 1, 3, 11.
It's 5x2, right?
No, he
No,
has to do dex.
Silas doesn't have resistance.
Well, he has to do dexterity
Yeah.
saves.
Does a 13 save?
13 hits, right?
14. Or it
Alright,
says
so
attack / save dex 14.
So then I failed.
Okay.
So then I'm going to take how much? 13 damage?
11.
11 damage. So he takes 11 damage, and you can see him kind of starting to look around a little bit nervously. He takes a few steps back and summons up some of these crystals in his hand.
And I still have action. Too.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
He was trying. Is he still trying to grab at the amulets?
No, he let go of that. He let go of the amulets, and he's kind of reeling back a little bit.
I'm gonna reduce Silas.
Okay.
He's gonna be.
No dude appreciates that, man.
Not cool, man.
It's
called
just
shrinkage.
It was really cold outside.
Cold!
I'm gonna shrink his balls. That's
okay,
what's gonna
just
happen.
his balls.
Here.
Just his balls.
Just no, I would like to reduce Silas, meaning that he is halved in all dimensions. His weight is one.
And all the
He is
Edgar.
he is 1/8 of his normal weight, and he has disadvantage on strength checks, and his weapons do 1d4 less damage.
Okay.
Get shit on Silas.
Yeah.
Get shrunk.
Does he sound more high pitched
So then he shrinks down.
Yeah.
1/8.
You see him in this like more small size. He like looks around and he seems pretty freaked. Like he's like freaked out. So he starts turning towards the exit.
Do we get an attack of opportunity?
Nobody. You do. So he turns and like breaks. Yeah, because you're the only
Absolutely.
awake person next to him.
Yeah.
So he turns and starts sprinting for the door. Go ahead and
It's just a
attack.
regular attack, right?
Just a regular
Okay.
attack.
Be like mini
No
golf,
bonuses.
just fucking
20.
take him.
All right, that'll hit. Give me damage.
16.
Woo!
All right. So he takes a hit, stumbles forward. Kind of some blood is trailing behind him. He is still running just as you come awake.
Yes.
Yay!
So actually, it's your turn first because you're the first to act.
Oh, okay, cool.
So Paddington tries to chase after him, but he's too far away, so he's not able to close the distance. So it's your turn.
I'm still holding on to the amulets. in
Okay,
my
so
left
then
hand.
you.
I
So
saw
he's
him.
running away. He's disappearing.
But I just attacked him.
Yeah, as he broke opportunity.
Yeah.
So now it's your turn, actually. So you get an attack with opportunity.
So are you
Now
gonna
it's your
chase
turn.
and let go of the ambulance? Is that what you're debating?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're just not interested in letting me have this, are you?
You do not need that much power. You do not need that much power, my friend.
What have I ever done to make you not trust me?
A fair amount.
I didn't
Have I done
Fair
anything
enough.
to harm you in any way? The answer is no. I'm just going to throw that out there.
You lied to your group.
I didn't lie. I withheld information. There's a difference.
You pretended not to know
That's
what
it.
amulet
You,
was. That
you
is straight
also
up
don't
lying.
know anything about all you know is I
Persuasion
have a
check.
necklace. That's all you know.
Persuasion check, insight check.
He's unconscious.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's talking from his mind.
That doesn't work like that.
How persuasive is an
This is not
unconscious
Also very
man? How is
persuasive.
there not a disadvantage?
17.
How could you ever trust him?
Yeah.
You think that he really was?
I hold
kind
on to the
He would do a
amulets.
very great war armament. He can
Alright,
try to put him in the
You
war.
kind of suspect though that he was doing this for your good. I mean, you look at his little unconscious form. He sacrificed
so
himself.
sweet.
He sacrificed himself for you guys.
I hold on to the amulets.
You can. You still choose to hold on to it. But that's what you think.
Okay.
That's what your character thinks.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not interested in that though.
Yeah. Okay. So now
And
it
then I
is
try and pull
on.
them. Can I use like an action to try and strike?
Pull the ambulance free. You are unable to. It is beyond your strength.
I'm very strong.
You can roll strength if you want, but it's not gonna happen unless you kill him, which you can also choose to try. But that would probably cause some problems.
Kill it if you want.
Yeah, these are pretty tough to get off. So yeah, I can bring you back.
Sitting right here. Plenty of people on the walls.
All right. So now it is on.
Dirty boy, coming right up.
Yeah, now it is on you.
So what is Silas's
So
current status?
he's running right now. So he's
Uh-huh.
running away. He's kind of leaving you guys. So
Very
you guys
tiny
are about
though.
to
His
be.
short little legs.
His short little tiny leg is running out of here as fast as those little tiny legs can carry him.
But he must be hurt bad, which is why he's running.
Okay, your turn.
We
All
already
right.
started the fight with him.
I'm gonna do my bonus action first.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna cast Mass Healing Word.
Okay.
So up to 6 creatures of my choice regain hit points equal to 1d4 plus 4.
Mm-hmm.
So this is gonna heal everybody pretty much.
Except him, right?
D4.
Yeah, which one do you get? No, it's an 8. It's a little triangle.
They might have one.
Oh yeah, here it is. I got one here.
Here.
Okay. So everyone, you all get 7 health.
Hey, everyone's awake again,
I'm alive.
and you are fully alive again.
1, 2, 3,
Everyone
4,
is
5.
restored.
So-
Plus
How many-
Alara, I guess.
Plus, yeah, she's yeah.
So that means if I was knocked out, I am now at total 7, right?
Yes. And then
I took
for
that long rest last time.
my action, I'll cast Sacred Flame on him.
Okay.
So he needs to make a Dex 15 saving throw.
Okay. Fails. It failed.
Okay. And so it says 2d8 radiant damage. So that's 6. This is an 8, right? Yeah. 2. So 8 damage.
Okay. So he groans toward his kind of small form as so you kind of see his form limping out towards the door. You suddenly see him point towards the now conscious Twitchley switch, and Twitchley hears a voice that says, "Come with me, and I can give you more power than you can possibly imagine."
Does he react?
This is what I hear from Silas.
Yeah,
Internally.
internally. Nobody else hears
So
this.
he's got some kind of like message thing.
And so if I respond, will he hear me?
You can respond because it is message. You can respond with your thoughts without having to speak.
Like, I mean, I already have 2 of what you so desperately were desiring. What more can you offer me? Because I seem to have 2. You seem to have 0. It seems like I have the cards here. Now, if you would like to run away like a scared little wimp, by all means. You're doing such a great job at that so far. I mean, it seems like you should stick to what you're an expert at.
You just hear him say, 2 delegates have already broken. This was the last. So we have amulets as well.
Oh, so you have 2, we have 2. I think I'll take my chances.
You see, okay, so now that it's his turn, or actually it's your turn, so you feel the communication cut off, and he keeps running. Now it is on you.
Me or just? I already-
Oh, you just went, that's right. It's on
How does
you.
it work if somebody further in the
It just kind of like
initiative
kicks back
chain
over.
revives people higher than them? And like, how does that
It
work?
just like when it loops back around.
So
So it would be on. It would be on.
It's me.
Yeah, you.
So, I am now conscious, and I immediately see you holding him, like, oh, what? Like, I try to get your hands
Yeah.
off. Do you let go, or do you continue to hold him?
I'm like, I need some answers.
And I will talk to my animal real quick and be like, you seem to have a slight problem. Can you make yourself extremely hot for a few seconds, please?
So you feel this sudden burning pain in the center of your chest, and she also feels a searing pain in her chest, or on her hands, and where is it? 1d? I'll do a small. Oh, fuck, you guys have too much. Oh, it's okay. You both take 1 point of burning damage. You recoil,
Why
and
do I recoil?
or you can give me a strength saving throw.
I mean, I'm doing everything I can here. Like, are you kidding me?
I want answers. It's a 13.
Alright, so you recoil on reflex because of the burn, and you rock back, and now you have full mobility.
Man, what seems to have happened? I have a new necklace. Kind of matches my other one that I got. I mean, they're pretty fancy. I wonder if a vendor in town would like them. They seem to be fine metals. We should check next time we're in town. Where did the big stone gentleman go? No one. Okay,
He's right there.
That. Oh, you're back. Last I saw you, this was quite disastrous. Is there anyone left, or have you guys done all the work while I was simply passed out?
There's the guy over
You
there.
did enough.
So the guy is just running to the exit. You guys have one final shot at trying to stop him.
I don't have a turn.
Oh yeah, it's your turn. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so can I run toward? If I run toward him, can I catch him or not?
You can also throw. You can also throw a hand axe at him.
You can. You'll probably have to do your action as a move. So you'll have to do like
I
a
think you can throw each
extra
one.
move. So he's maybe about like 120 feet away. So you
Yeah.
have 60 feet of movement, right?
I can really look at that.
40.
Yeah.
40.
60 would be a lot.
Yeah, 40. Okay.
Yeah, 40.
So maybe it's like he's like 80
Javelin,
feet
you
away.
can
So it'll
throw
have
a
to be your
javelin
like
120
move
feet.
and your action is moving
Okay,
to do
because
like
I wanted to
sprint.
You
tackle
can
him.
throw a javelin.
Yeah, I think I'm going to
120.
because I wanted to tackle him, but
Yeah.
I guess it's going to be too far.
Yeah, but
So
he's
I wa-
small, so you can probably he's not covered that much ground. He's maybe like 80 feet away, like towards like the entrance.
Yeah, but if I use my actions, I mean, the next time is going to
Yeah.
no. Yes.
Yeah, I mean you can either do your move and get 40 feet away and then do something, or you can do your sprint and like try to get close to him. And then if he tries to break away, then you get an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so you're gonna get all the way over there.
Yes.
Okay, so you're all the way up to him. You have a bonus action still, so I don't know if you can do anything in your bonus action. So like, you can try to like, I don't know, can you try to grapple in a bonus action? I don't think so.
As about grappling is an
No,
issue.
okay, so you get like just right up next to him, panting. He's small. He's this little dude, kind of running for the door, but he's
If
almost there.
as a bonus action, can I get in front of him, like you're trying to block his way?
Yeah, give me an athletics check on that.
That's a 2 plus. 5, 7.
Okay, so you just barely get in front of him, but it's not like you're kind of just like shoulder to shoulder, really, or shoulder to like hip, I guess, because he's
Yeah.
really tiny. All right, now it is on him. He is going to do a quick. You're going to see 2 of those crystals form in his hand again. He's going to do a quick attack. So those will probably both miss. And I can resummon them. Those will probably both hit. Does a yeah? I guess those are both over 20. So you take 40 points of bludgeoning damage
40?
from
That's
2
half of
crystals that hit you.
Half of that?
Half.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but then you're in a rage, so it's 20.
Nice.
Okay, so then you take. So he throws his 2. He throws 4 crystals at you. 2 go wide, 2 hit center, knock you back, and he is going to resume running.
So I have an attack of
So you have an
opportunity.
attack of opportunity.
Can I tackle him?
I think it's just a normal attack. I'm not sure how that
I
works.
don't think you can use grapple as a bonus or as an attack of opportunity. I think it's a melee or a simple weapon attack.
But yeah.
Okay, I will.
Because he's shorter, he's only doing like 20, 30 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a scrub gnome, but only gets 25 feet.
Action. Okay, I'll do an attack then. 7 plus 8. 15. Does it
Okay,
hit?
that'll hit.
Okay. 6 plus 5. So it's 7.
Right, 7 points of damage. Alright, so now it's on him, so he's gonna run his max running distance and then do a sprint on top. So that's gonna get him another 60 feet to the door. And he is going to disappear upstairs. And y'all are out of combat. That was really close though. We almost had him.
This guy's our nemesis.
It's okay, we'll get him next time.
And you guys are in the throne room. So what you all see is you're still holding this massive sword that kind of has, it's about 5 feet long, made kind of a stone metal, 5 feet, and it has kind of this
Yellow band.
yellow band on the
Yeah.
center.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Like a vein, maybe?
Does the band make you want to dance? Is it a band make you
Bands
dance?
make a dance.
Band.
Absolutely.
So then, as you Alara is kind of, or Alana is kind of getting, or Alara is kind of getting up begrudgingly. The other delegate is back on his feet. They're talking in low tones to each other, kind of making worried gestures and stuff like that. They kind of drift off to the back of the room. But where Marlos was killed, you see kind of this heap of clothing and kind of gear. But it's, so you can, it's up to you guys.
We can search
Loot.
the heap of clothing and gear, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, there's also in this room, there is, there's where this guy was being contained, there seems to be like some sort of like wooden boards, like right by where he was, like so sort of like, or where I guess he was originally standing. There seems to be kind of this like
I'll go check over there.
trapdoor over here.
Alright, so I have a question.
Yeah.
Would my character be the type of person that carries would I just naturally have like a pipe with me? I feel
Sure.
like I would.
Sure.
I'll bust out my pipe and just, sit and, ponder life while taking some rips with my pipe.
You
Okay.
should smoke the Rocky guy's ashes.
No, I'm not into smoking.
Okay. Turn chaotic evil.
I have my own supply, thank you very much. If you'd like to partake, this is a safe space. You guys can join me, but I'm just going to watch whatever happens while...
I would like to ask you a few questions at some point.
Oh, ask away. Whenever you feel like. I'm an open book.
Alright, I'm sure
Book?
you are.
Oh, yes. Speaking of, there was something regarding books I was going to ask you, but it escapes me now. It must be the pipe. I don't know.
Do you use spikes?
I will also go toward the
Yeah.
The trapdoor
I'll head
near
towards
the-
trapdoor.
So you two head towards the trapdoor. It has it's sort of old wood, has a thick padlock on it that looks like with some lock picking it might be able to get worked apart.
Lockpicking, you say? Are you
And,
saying that my assistance is required?
It
Oh.
won't be necessary.
Well,
So there you go.
Break it open.
It's bolted shut.
Does it look like it? Can I investigate it to see if there's any sort of trap on it?
Oh, I have a thingy.
You can investigate it.
I have a wand that will do that.
Wonderful.
Literally for that purpose.
Yeah.
Where's
Yeah.
a pile of something? Can I start looking
So
at?
you go through the pile and you find a set of stone gauntlets, which is kind of besides just kind of like worn, torn up clothes, stone
Okay.
gauntlets.
Do they fit me?
They do, and if you put them on, you immediately will get an AC +1.
I don't have to get used to it.
That's just from wearing the armor, but then there is probably some property that you will acclimate to
Okay.
as well.
Alright, so I'm going to use my Wand of Secrets, which has 3 charges, none of which I've used so far, to find a secret door or trap within 30 feet of me. If there is one, the wand will point to it.
But wouldn't it point to the secret door?
Secret door, right? Or
Well, it's
trap?
not secret, right? We can
No,
see
so-
the door.
Okay.
It's
So
just
you want it
supposed
to be like there is a trap door here,
The question is whether or not there's like traps
trap.
behind the door, right?
or like
So
whether
you
things
feel the
gonna-
wand-
So wait. So we should wait. We should open the trap first, so we know like where underneath it is, right? Otherwise, like
I
it's
was
just
just
gonna.
worried
Unless
if we try to
opening it is
open
a
it
trap.
without a lockpick, then it might explode or something.
If only there was someone here with a lockpicking kit.
Only there was somebody who didn't lie to their
the
entire
requisite
group.
abilities. You have no idea that I've lied to you. You have no idea whatsoever. All you
You've
know
been
is I'm
acting
wearing-
really shady.
All you
now.
know is I'm wearing a necklace.
You know-
Shady as
that
fuck.
is literally all you know.
You
I'm
keep
not
like
saying
hiding
something
over it
counts
by
as lying.
yourself and
I'm
just
a
being
secret
like,
I've had
person.
suspicions
It's
about
walking
it
into the
since
cave.
day
It's
one.
actually
Totally
Cuban.
I
Cuban
accused you
links.
of it. I accused you of it
And
day
then,
one.
and then you questioned me and you were wrong.
But that
That's all I'm
didn't make me
gonna
lose.
say.
That didn't make me lose
Hey.
my suspicion, though. Just saying.
You did fail that check. So your
It didn't make me lose my
characters.
suspicion.
You did
Yeah.
an insight check on me. You failed. That should alleviate the suspicion. But you, as a non-character, know that I have something, so you want to know that in character.
I would, as the DM, say that at least most of your suspicions will be allayed. You can still ask general questions, but they won't be pointed to find out what exactly the nature. Like, you can ask about, like, hey, what are those amulets, stuff like that, but you won't have any suspicion that they are bad. You will just be, except for the fact that the other one was somehow attracted to him, that could be something that you would recognize.
Both. He has them.
But like the original amulet, in as far as you know, that original amulet that is around his neck is benign as far as you know. Someone else can perform that check, but you think that it's just happenstance. Because at least, but like, you can ask about why the other amulet was attracted to him, any of that stuff, but in terms of like what that original amulet is, you probably, because of that check, will not have a sense of it. Or will not have like as an intense desire to find out.
alright, fuck this
Anyways.
trapdoor.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ask him what the fuck is up with the necklace that
Thank
just
you.
flew over onto him.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm not the only one concerned about this.
Necklace that flew. I mean, I
That one.
I passed. I
Oh.
do have another necklace.
Whoa, that's so funny.
It's
How
very-
surprising.
It's very similar
That's
to my
so
other necklace.
shy.
It does look quite
Wow.
nice on me if I do
You know,
say
it
so
doesn't.
myself.
I mean, do you mind if I try it on?
I think it looks pretty good on me.
You know, I really love necklaces. Do you think
Oh,
I?
that's great for you. You should probably find some.
Do
You
really
should
think, you think I could
persuasion
just try it on?
persuasion check.
There's no way I would hand it over.
There's no way you're handing it over.
No,
Okay.
there's absolutely. It's not like she's persuading me. There's absolutely no way I'm taking off
That's
my
not suspicious at all.
necklaces. Yeah. Well, these I found the first one. We walked around. We found it
It
with
mysteriously
the other loot.
floated to you.
No, you're telling me this. I passed out. I have no idea what happened. You're telling me this one floated to me? I mean, your guess is as good as mine, if I'm honest. I have
It's
no,
shocking.
I have
It's
no
absolutely
idea.
shocking.
Yeah, I
You
fainted
trust
during
him.
the fight.
You
It
trust
was,
him.
I don't, but
all,
Your character does.
I mean, if you're saying that it floated to me, that's mysterious.
having-
We should find out. But it's, I mean, it does seem to match the other one I've got. So
Yeah, maybe they're.
Paddington and I walked to a different part of the room and just kind of want to explore. We're just
Right.
checking other
Yeah,
stuff.
I'll go with you. This is awkward.
Give me perception checks, both of you guys.
the
I
walls
still
still
want to get in
trapping
the
people?
trapdoor though.
The
Pardon
walls
me?
are still trapping people.
So, the wall is starting to recede, and you can start to see that like some of these people are falling, slumping down. They look very, very drained. The people that were close to his
Look down.
heal all, the people that were
14.
close to his heal all seem a little bit more alert.
Yeah.
And you know they're starting to kind of pick up some of their companions, and they're just trying to get out of there as fast as
Wait, the
possible.
wall's receding.
I-
Does that mean the people inside are being
Yeah,
sucked into
they're
the
like
wall?
falling out. Like the people that were like trapped in the wall that are still alive, some of them are just like dead and they're still just like laying there. But the living ones are kind of like
They're falling out,
Getting-
and they're like, we don't need to like save them. But
No,
they're
they're-
sucked into the wall.
no, they're fine. Like the
Okay,
wall
okay.
is
He-
inert.
he
now.
wouldn't
Are
have made
they
it.
in
Don't-
full
he wouldn't have
gears
made it.
or?
They look
The
really.
acne
They look
guy?
like
Yeah,
kids
no,
who just were
no,
like.
he was-
They're in like
he would
laborers'
be
garb because they were initially just laborers from the monastery above, where they were just like working, trying to like do stone
He's definitely
rituals
just
down here. And they
with
just
that
got caught
acne,
up
you
in
know?
something.
Oh no, this
So
guy
they're
died
just kind
natural
of
death.
collecting each other and moving their way out. Any of them who are still like on their feet. Yeah. So as you all
10,
explore, so you have
10,
10,
and he got a 14.
14.
14. So you spot first, but both of you spot it. Kind of this old like chest, kind of made out of stone at the very, very back of the back of the room. So it's kind of it doesn't actually have a lock. It just seems to just kind of be a simple storage box.
I'm going to irresponsibly open it right away.
Yeah,
So you
absolutely.
open it right away. Thankfully, there are no traps, and you find 100 gold pieces.
Nice.
You find
I
one
didn't use it
golden
yet.
ring that, as you lift it up, or you find one golden ring, and you find another, like a kind of conical hat.
I want all of it.
Well, I'm there too.
Oh, he's there, so he actually got there first.
If you don't wear that hat this
I-
entire day, at least.
I feel,
Like a rice
I
potty
feel
hat
like
or
I'm
like
more of
a-
a hat
I'm
kind
thinking
of
like
guy.
Okay, fine. I'll get
Like
the
a
ring.
sister.
I'll take the gold with you.
Split the gold. I'll take the hat.
I get the ring.
All right, so
I'm all about that fashion.
This is
You know.
everything I've ever wanted.
Elves know how to dress well.
so you put on your conical hat. You
Known fact.
feel like it's made of cloth, so it doesn't give you any armor, but you feel that it has some sort of magical abilities in it. So it's something you're going to have to attune to over the next long rest.
to it.
Are we doing a
Maybe-
long rest right now?
Guns powers.
Little did you know, it actually lowers the damage of every spell I've done before.
It makes you go sit in the corner.
But it makes a funny quip every time I cast. It's
Yeah.
totally worth
Totally
it.
worth
And when you miss, it talks shit to you.
Are we taking a
I'm
long rest
sorry.
right now?
I mean, we're still in like the
Wait,
cave.
wait,
We're
wait.
like deep in the belly of
It's
the
just
beast.
building
Okay, the padlock on the trapdoor that we were looking at.
Yeah.
If we like give it a good
Traps.
couple strong hits, will it break, or does it seem like
You can certainly try.
All right, I'll take a shot at it. I'll try to hit it with my.
You got a longbow?
No, I
Sword.
have, I have two short swords that I can try
Okay.
to, like. Okay.
So give me a strength, or it would be strength check at disadvantage because it's metal.
Strength check. Alternatively, I don't think that would help. I have a breath weapon. Maybe I can melt them?
Do you get to dictate what type of breath weapon it is, or is it
It's
based
determined
on
by my
type,
like
yeah.
ancestry, so I'm lightning type.
Oh, okay. I was
So
about to
it
say, if
seems
it's like
unlikely.
ice,
Fire,
if
yeah.
it's ice, then you could like freeze it and then
And then
make it
shatter
brittle, but
Yeah, no, it's
Lightning,
lightning,
yeah.
so it probably would.
Yeah.
Lightning would not even mess with the wood.
Do you think I'd have a better chance with my string?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
I
Yeah,
don't
you should
know.
do it. Would just a
You
pure
can just
strength
try
check?
until it
Yeah.
break, you know.
Saving throw or attack, like strength,
you
whatever.
just do a straight strength check
Strength,
with
strength.
disadvantage if you're using a middle weapon against it.
I can use a weapon. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so just like grabbing it won't do anything, but like it'll be like a strength of just like trying to force the lock.
That's 23.
I don't have a crowbar in our
That's
backpack.
pretty good.
I
That's
actually do.
17. No,
it's part
18.
of my.
18.
So
With the
18,
pipe?
you're able to just with
I
like the
was
back
actually
of your
gonna use
axe
that crowbar.
crack the lock. Did you ever use that wand?
No.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I thought.
No, I didn't. I was like, if I
Okay.
use it right now, it's just gonna point straight into the door, so it's not gonna tell us anything.
Actually,
So
let's wait
But
until
she
you
did.
say.
You
More wands.
crack it open.
It creates random every time
Nothing
you use it.
happens, but the
That's
door is still
very
closed.
cool. It's a great wand.
Nothing happens with the.
It's
You,
a
yeah, the
person
lock
wand,
breaks,
if
it
you
kind of
will.
scatters off.
That can you
Uh,
charge
I
a
can use the
wand
wand
that's
before
crazy
Alright,
I
once?
open
we
it.
can use it now. Alright, I'm gonna use the wands.
How many
Yeah.
charge there is?
The fact that he
and-
asked, yeah, I know,
Yeah.
like, probably use
There's-
it. So yeah,
I
I'll use
would
my
use it
wand
like
of
An
secrets.
undetermined amount of charges.
Okay,
Wait.
so as you do it, it
Will-
points
It's only
directly
create
at
ones.
the door
And the ones that it
and
creates.
the gears
they have
that
one
like,
charge, or-
lift it open.
The wand of wands can create any
So
number of.
I would just create
So
all the
opening it-
ones possible, you know, get used to them, and then I have a backpack full of
That's
ones.
not actually.
So
what
opening
her
it
wand
has
does.
would
What?
trigger some kind of
That's not
trap.
actually what.
Oh.
So how
Her
do we
does.
disarm it?
That's an item that I made for a game that they never found.
Gears. What can we
Oh.
do to the
What
gears?
Would
is
you
this?
suffer?
I made a wand of wands.
Oh, wonderful.
It's a wand that creates other wands.
Ooh.
And so it had a number. It had like a number of charges that you would roll, and you would get a random wand that did random things each time you used the wand of wands. But you guys
Pretty
never
cool.
found it. So,
Oh man.
Is it the one at the bottom of the lake?
no, that wasn't what was the bottom of the lake.
What was at the bottom of the lake?
Don't worry about what's at the bottom of the lake.
I mean, okay, I might as well. I'll just
Yeah.
try to breathe my lightning on the gears to see if that will disarm the trap.
Alright, so you breathe your lightnings on the
Maybe
gears.
I'll stand nearest it, just in case.
The lightning reacts
I'll
with the
stand
middle.
near it. I'm gonna
Pardon
stand near it. I'm just gonna stand kind of in between it, so if anything happens, I take the brunt of it.
You're gonna stand
closer
between her breath.
not to the side of it, just so that like if she's here, I'm gonna stand like here, so that if anything
in
like,
case
jumps out,
it triggers
I
anything,
can kind of like
you'll absorb the
I
damage.
have a lot more
All
health
right,
in
yes,
her.
you can jump in front. Okay,
Yeah.
I see. So as she does her lightning attack, the lightning reacts with actually another with like some kind of magic that's in the gears. You see kind of like a few spikes of stone just shoot up around the trapdoor, and then they immediately go to dust.
Is it triggered? Is it done? Or will it do that if we
I'll walk
open
in.
it
I
now?
don't care. I'll walk in. Let's do it. I have lots of health.
Alright.
So you walk in. As you open the door, nothing happens, and you look down inside, and there are 2 boxes set up there.
Got one for each of us.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
Okay, I walked to the first box. I open it.
I'll
So you
open the
open
second
up,
box.
And the second box, so in your box you find 100 gold pieces and
And a note that says you should have chosen the other box.
I know.
chosen
Damn
box.
it! I don't have enough gold.
Okay, you see 100.
I have enough gold. Darn it.
You see 100 gold pieces and like kind of like a worn cloak, and then for you, you find about 150 gold pieces and an old book. That that has like a few. It looks like a few pages missing, but kind of it's like a worn old book.
Okay.
And
What's
it
the
looks-
title?
It's very. It just all you can see is it's very very dull. Like it's kind of like a dull color. It's like kind of like almost blends with the rock behind it.
There's no title though. There's no writing
you
that I
can't,
can discern.
You can't read the title. Yeah.
I give you a big hug because
There's no title on the outside.
It's Bookie McBookface.
Oh my god.
So
and
you
we come
have-
out and we're
you
both.
have,
I'm like mediocrely
you have
happy.
a dull. It's called a dull book.
So is this cloak? I mean,
Yeah, it's
is
just-
this
it's
something
a-
I should put down, or is it just a cloak?
It's like
It's very
one of like the
keeping you
basic.
warm.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
cold.
yeah.
It's
I
one of the
was like,
basic
is it-
armor.
So
It's like a
use
basic.
magic
It
hands
is
to
this
try
magical
to.
I mean, it's a basic armor thing.
Warm.
Like so, I think it
Sluggy
gives you.
warm.
I forget whatever like the default cloak is in the player's handbook. It's that.
I mean, the one that I already have.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
There you have 2
You
cloaks.
can pick the color scheme on this one.
Yeah, you can pick the color.
Yeah,
Now you
it
can wear-
changes-
now you can
it-
wear
it's
one on the
actually a
front
mood
and the
cloak.
back.
It changes based
Ooh.
on your disposition at the
Oh,
time.
it's a mood cloak.
Whoa.
Oh, can I make it a mood cloak, please?
That seems
Yeah.
like canon to me.
That sounds good. Mood
Yeah.
cloak it is. So it's
Confirms.
has the same stats as your current cloak, but if you're mad,
It
it
just
turns. If you go
changes.
into a rage, it turns red.
Can it turn neon purple when I go into a rage?
Yes, it can
Thank
also
you.
do that.
Okay.
You can, it's a programmable mood code. It's like
Yay.
Corsair keywords.
And when
It's like the Philips
Yeah.
Hue of cloaks.
But if it turns orange, that means you're particularly horny at the time. It's
Yeah.
time to stay away.
exactly, that's when I touch somebody's butt.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the breeding season.
Y'all better
This is
stand back.
Half order.
It's not good for
half-orcs
anyone.
like
No,
those half
stay away, stay away.
All right, so you two are still above ground.
Damn right. I'll
You
fuck
two
around.
are in the thing, and you two have walked off.
How long is
So you see Lara and the other
Oh, shit, is she
delegate
alive?
chatting, and they they
I
both
healed her.
kind of nod their head, and they say, "We thank you for your help." So you two are still saying it. We thank you for your help, but we think we need to go. And they like start kind of backing
Whoa,
away.
whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down, lady.
Sometimes people have to go. It's fine. It was lovely traveling with you. Have safe travels. in the
Any
future.
particular reason, Alara, why you have to depart from us?
She's a very powerful woman. She's got plenty of places. We don't want
She says things are changing in these lands, and we need to immediately report to our superiors.
My question, though, Alara, is not to belabor the point, but were you not looking for your amulet? You seem to have found an amulet. It seems to have
She
flown
was
onto his
unconscious.
neck. But two
I need my
amulets
necklace.
are
Yeah,
around
it's
his
not-
neck.
No big deal. Doesn't do anything.
So she,
They mysteriously, I have no knowledge of these amulets, but they seem to be around his neck.
And I'm simultaneously talking to them, be like,
so
guys,
she
guys,
like
keep
looks
it
at
cool."
her. So she looks at your amulet and she says, "That's mine." And she reaches her hand out for it.
It feels like mine.
It's around my neck.
It definitively feels as if it's mine currently. I don't know what it has been.
She
Probably
reaches
can't
her
grab it
hand
that
out
way.
for it, and like a torrential wind kicks up, and it throws her backwards. And she takes. Yes.
What have you done?
She's gonna die.
5
These
points.
things, I don't know what it
That's
is.
just, she takes. It wasn't a very
No.
good roll, so she takes 5 points of wind damage.
She got healed for like 7.
Yeah, she's at like 2 health now.
Yeah, so she kind of like reels back and is kind of bleeding out her nose and her eyes. And the other delegate is like, "That's mine, but they've already bonded. It's getting too close."
Is it
And
how they reproduce?
Not suspicious at all. Of course. I have no knowledge of these
the other
things.
delegate is like, "Listen, I've been here for way too long. They've been torturing me for weeks. There's nothing we can do even with these amulets." And he's like freaking. This guy's like 100% freaking out. He's like, "We gotta get back. We gotta talk to our superiors." He's like, "Look at my arms. They've been cutting at me." And he's like trying to explain this to Alara, who's like bleeding out of her nose. And they both look like they're kind of like, they're very, very freaked out right now, and they look like they're trying to like. Get
I
out
have
of there.
breads. Stones breads, from the
You have some
very
bread.
back. I still have 2 in my backpack.
Yeah.
What,
And
so
I
the
give him
spice
some
bread?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you give him, you break a piece of bread apart, and you give.
So I remove 1 from my backpack.
I also, I'm still holding my pipe. I offer them my peace pipe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Exactly.
I really didn't mean to. These things were they were junk that I found, but I find them particularly attractive on me. But do join me if you will.
No,
I really think they would look great with your cummerbund.
Yeah. And Alara is.
I will go retrieve my cummerbund, by the way.
Yeah, Alara looks like she would be pissed if she wasn't just literally so jacked up.
I'm making sure. You'll restore at least 1 hit point from this. I swear.
So she's like, she's like, well, once they've bonded to someone, I've never seen it break, except for what those bastards did to us to get the amulets away from us.
I do feel quite bonded. I don't know what that means, but I feel it.
Let's
So
get
like
them back
this-
to Red Larch,
She says
Get
now is
them
just the
rest,
beginning, and
and
she
then we
like
can find out more.
she glares at you and she says, "This is what you get for lying to us."
I
Their
lied
power-
to no one.
And she says their power grows more powerful. The more
Give
of
me
them that
one
combine.
scenario in which I lied.
I ask Alara what it means when somebody has the amulet.
She says they can influence certain elements to a higher degree, but as the minds that are contained in the amulet come together, they grow closer to unlocking their master.
Does
their
the
true
person
master?
does the person that wears it know that these amulets can do that thing?
It depends on what the
Standing
amulet
right
reveals. It
Are
depends
you-
on what the amulet reveals. I see that
Amulet
your friend
speaking.
is something of a fool, so I'm not sure
It's just
that you would
amulets.
fully-
It's just
Okay.
amulets right now.
And I say, as a dear friend once told me while wine drinking, no, I'm too powerful.
What's the too powerful? So, who's the owner of the amulets? Who's the
The
mind?
Appears to be me, my good sir.
She was talking about like a.
She says we were going to see our masters to try to contain these amulets.
And what's their name?
They are the great leaders of our people, the queen of.
You have people?
Yes.
Wow. I thought you were just a one of a kind, but apparently this is getting more fascinating by the minute.
What
We-
race is it?
I have no idea.
What race? What race?
So she is an elf.
Ah.
So she is going to go to like the queen of the elves. The stone guy.
I know her.
have to check my notes.
We had brunch yesterday
We
before
go-
I dropped in on
We
you
go
fine
way
people.
back. We go way back.
The stone.
Actually, that's my
guy-
great aunt. It's crazy.
I should come to next week to
Small,
every year.
small world.
Yeah, the stone
She's
guy
just
is
such a
a
gem.
dwarf,
Such
so
a
he
gem.
is the kind of he has to report into like kind of like the head of the dwarves.
Why's she hanging with him?
Yeah, I know they don't usually get along.
No.
I think they look kind of like they're eyeballing each other, anyways. But yeah, so they say, okay, we have to go report to our masters. The fact that they have two of these already, it seems like those delegates have already been completely taken.
But I mean, if we have to, and then we add that to my already significant power, I mean, there's no chance that they have any possible chance against
I mean,
us.
Did he say that out loud?
Yeah, so she holds out her hand, and with just like the wind power that's there, she lifts you up a few feet off the ground, makes you do a loop-de-loop, and then sets you back down, and she says, I'm a master of wind, and I couldn't, and she says, and I couldn't control these amulets, and you don't even have any sort of power.
Me and Bartholomew are doing just fine.
He has a name.
He's been barded.
No, I know, but this is my character. Doesn't know that. Yeah.
Okay.
But at this point, he's talking
I
openly
do
about
play my
it.
character.
And the
I mean, the
amulet
cat's
that
out of the bag now.
Yeah, that's roll.
I don't know anything, right?
It's true. You do now.
Yeah, okay.
All I'm saying is me, Bartholomew, and Tiberius, who's clearly what I'm going to name the other amulet, are going to do wonders with one another. And I know that where you two have failed, I will certainly succeed, so I'm not concerned even in the slightest.
She glares at you and says, then I will report your sayings to my queen. He will report them to his king, and they will come to extract the amulet from you
I will have
as
you know,
soon as possible.
I want you to understand that Bartholomew asked for your life, and I denied him.
Which
I
I
gave
obliged.
my own life essence for this to happen, to make sure you survived. So before you think such ill things about me, know that I really am good at heart.
She says, then a word of advice. Let my master take that amulet off of you.
See,
Let her free you from its bond.
that's
and
where
we
we're
can-
gonna run into a slight snag. See, I have no desire and no inclination whatsoever to give up these wonderful accessories that I found upon myself. They just, it's a cure for the loneliness, really.
And then she says, for the sake of the realm, then, we will
What realm?
take it from you.
Your realm? The Elvish realm?
The elvish, the dwarvish, the delegates realm.
You don't even know what realm I come from, do you?
You're some gnomish kingdom. She kind of gives like the elvish, like down the nose look.
Say my proper
that look.
race once. Name my proper race.
Smart laugh. Something.
All you had to do was get it correct, and I would have given it to you.
You're a
You
deep
don't even
gnome.
know where I come from.
You're a deep gnome.
Yeah, deep gnome. What's the real name? You don't know either.
I don't
Nobody
deep
knows.
gnome.
I'm taking them to my people, where they will be put to best use.
She says, and I hope your people can withstand my queen's arms. And then she
My-
turns and starts walking
My
towards the
people
door.
have no problems
Isn't
with you.
best use of the armies to take the other amulets? Because we know they're up to no good.
What's that?
You know, the other amulets.
There's still two more. Those are
Yeah.
those are the ones.
Yeah,
we
oh, yeah,
should
yeah.
Isn't the best
We
use
should
of
be
the
concerned
army?
about the ones that.
Oh
we
yeah, so you're
have
saying,
access
isn't it?
to.
Isn't the best use of the army to take the other amulets?
She says, so we don't know where they are, so we'll find the two amulets that we can to
Oh,
combat the other two, because
Oh.
unlike your friend,
would you like me
they
to
are
ask?
skilled with those
I can
amulets.
ask
who's saying
Bartholomew and Tiberius where they are.
Alarm.
If I were so inclined, but being so rudely treated, I mean, I'm just here to offer help and assistance, and you seem to be wanting to escalate this to an area where it really doesn't need to be.
She
I'm not going
considers
to
your
give
point.
him away willingly, but I'm willing to help. I'm not against any of you. I want peace just like everybody else.
She says, she
Oh,
cons-
you're way better at
She-
playing than Trevor.
roll persuasion.
Can the
Roll
rest of
persuasion.
us speak to the amulets,
Yeah,
or
you-
just him?
No, just only the person that's wearing them can talk to the amulets directly.
I think they can.
But you like talk
Yeah.
through him if you want.
22.
22. So she believes you. So she says, listen, I'm in a difficult situation. I am not strong enough right now to force you to do anything. But we need to figure out what's going on. They actually, unlike you, know how to use these amulets and seem to know more of their abilities. These are dark magical objects. I don't even understand how the one I was bearing truly functioned. So I need to talk to my queen. That's the only thing that I know.
Wait, can
I
the
believe you can
amulets
teach him.
can the amulets hear us? Or
They
if I say
can't.
something out loud, can the amulet understand me?
They can only really communicate with their master.
And
I will do whatever I can to help, short of giving you my possessions.
She says, then come with us. We will go to the Elven Kingdom.
Can you teach him?
Let's go.
Or
I
should I
love
just-
this house.
Yeah.
I will be more than willing to host you and your master on my home soil, but if you think that you, after you
Let's
have
go to the
already
Elven
expressed that you
Kingdom.
are going to have your master forcefully take my property from me, if you think I'm going to follow you into that situation, you are sadly mistaken.
I'd love to see the Elven Kingdom.
You can stay in my summer home.
Then I would love for you to go. If you guys would like to travel to the land of the deep
My summer
gnomes,
home
by all means, we would
Antonia.
host you in grand fashion. But following you
No
to
one
where
wants to
your
go to a
magic is
cave.
strongest and your ability to take my things is at its peak is quite unlikely, I assure you.
Don't you live in a cave?
So she says,
You don't know where I live because I have never told you.
So she
very
says-
The
purposefully.
deep
I
sounds
hear
like
you,
a cave to me.
I hear you are a
Imagine
casino. You are a casino manager, isn't that right?
I have been known to dabble in the games of probability.
I will tell my queen when I reach her and
If this-
ask her if she will meet you at your establishment.
If the stakes are high
In
enough,
1
I'm
week's time.
interested. We have a deal.
So then she turns, her and the other delegate, they walk out, and I think that's a good place to call it.
Yeah.
Woo! Long rest. And everyone's level 6.
Oh,
yes.
yay.
I think
So because of the long rest, do we get used to the magical object? we may have?
Yes.
Or
So
do you
we'll-
want to give us the
let me see
information
what you
later?
got.
Yeah, do we find out now or when we come back?
I can give it to you later, just so I can like make sure I get everything right when I read through it.
Do I get any abilities
And also because it's
having,
late.
for having multiple amulets? Do I get any abilities?
So you've attuned to the first one now. So you'll have a lot of affinity for wind spells, but I can go through and actually figure out. I haven't like checked exactly what they're doing here.
Got it.
I know the
go
name
through
of
and
deep
figure out.
gnomes now.
Sverfniblin?
Yeah.
Snurfling.
What?
Sverfniblin. SV
Sverfniblin.
or SF, depending on whether it's Pathfinder or D&D.
All right, later, everybody. Playing some D&D. See y'all later. It's time for
We're just the
bed.
deepest of gnomes, man.
Deepest of gnomes.
So